in, go live. And there we go. Okay, and we're good to go. Okay, hello everybody, how are you doing? Welcome back to Trucking Tuesday. We are starting on time again today, just about. Afternoon, Charlie, how are you? So we're back in Euro Truck. We are currently in Sligo in Ireland, but we're going to be doing some more Euro Truck Simulator today. And I've got a little bit of a surprise for you today as well, which you'll see when we dive into the game in just a moment. But how is everybody doing? How's everyone's Tuesday? It's been a lovely cool day here. It's actually rained a little bit today as well, which I am very grateful for. It's been a long time since we've had such nice cool weather, so I'm hoping it stays this way for a few days. But yeah, it's nice to not be drowning in my own sweat for once. So how is it where you are? Is it a little bit cooler, or are you still in the midst of the heat wave? Let me know. Thanks for the heart me, Charlie. Okay. Just another minute or so and we will dive on in. Before we begin as well, I just want to say, if you look up at the top of the screen there, you will see we are exceptionally close to 7K. Will we hit it in today's stream? I don't know, but it would be really cool if we could. There's just over 100 followers to go. So if you could, please share the stream. Please get your friends to watch today, and hopefully today might be the day that we hit 7K. Thanks for following Wilksy7. Thanks for being the first one of the day. What's Saul and AMA, says JM. Saul is my name, and AMA is short for Ask Me Anything. JM. Thanks for following KD Contracting. Okay, we're going to dive into the game now, and are you ready for the big surprise? Here's the big surprise. If Google will stop listening to my conversations. Thank you, Gemini. Here's the big surprise. Ta-da! The head tracker's back. I managed to get the head tracker working again. It took me so long. It's been so long since we last used the head tracker. But I have got it working again. I can look around. I can lean out of the window. I can look around in the cab. You can't really see much because it's raining right now. But the head tracker's back. We'll see how well it works this time. I mean, it was working perfectly well before. I think the reason that I stopped using it was because I switched computers and I just didn't install the software on my new computer. But we got it now. It's all working as it should be, and we're gonna see. Well, we're gonna see if it's any good. I would have got an Oculus instead. That must get annoying, right? Says Dracula Vins. No, it's not annoying at all. Honestly, it's really good. You'll see as we play, but you can. It's completely programmable. You can customize how strong the effect is, and you can plot the curve of how much the camera turns with your head and stuff like that. But you can see it's not an eye tracker. So if I move my eyes around, nothing happens. It's a head tracker specifically. So if I turn my head, that's what makes the camera in-game turn. And I've got it mapped so that I can look to my left and I can see out of the left window. I can look to my right to see out of the right window. And if I look a bit further to the right, I can also see behind me for when we do reversing and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm also going to open this window so we can see the rear view mirror there. And let's get started with the job. You'll notice I've also switched to the Krone Profi liner, which I wanted to use last week, but we couldn't get it without the game crashing for some reason. But I've got the Profi liner now. It should give us a lot more options in terms of the kind of jobs that we can do. So let's just go right ahead and see if we can get our first job of the day. How do you do that? Says Stig. So I'm using a software called OpenTrack. It works off a webcam, so I've got a second webcam just here in front of directly in front of me. It doesn't have to be a good webcam. It just, literally the cheapest webcam you can find will work. But I've got a webcam looking straight at me, and the OpenTrack software lets you use the webcam as a head tracker, which is pretty cool. And it saves you spending loads of money on like a Tobii eye tracker or, proper expensive head tracking hardware. You could just do it with a webcam. Okay, let's see what jobs we got. We're not in Sligo, we're in Galway. I forgot I did a little drive down to Galway just to test the eye tracker. Hi, Trucker Hugo, how are you doing? So let's start with... Galway to Dublin, Galway to Wexford, Galway to Lisburn. I think that's a good place to start. Republic of Ireland to Northern Ireland. Let's start with that. Okay, where are we going? Left, and then left again. Do you have pro mods, says Panzer? I do have pro mods, yes. I've got quite a few mods active right now, but pro mods is, sort of the core of it. We got Pro Mods Middle East, Pro Mods The Great Step, all of that stuff. What game is this, says Jake? Euro Truck Simulator 2. Okay, here we go. Like I say, it's been a what? Okay. We just enter roundabouts without looking now, do we? It's been a while since we used the eye tracker. I think it was... What am I even hitting? Oh, I got a fucking stop sign caught under the wheels. That's why I keep getting damaged. Okay, so we're off to a good start. But yeah, it's been a while since we used the head tracker. I think it was sort of September, October time. So almost a year, actually, since we last used it. How have I got 6% damage from that? Literally just from getting a stop sign caught under the wheels. Fuck that. I've got a bad feeling about this stream right from the get-go. Honestly. I need to be back a little bit. I've heard of the Middle East one, but what does the Great Steppe add? The Great Steppe adds a region in Russia. I think it's like southwest, where Russia meets the Middle East, basically. But that one, it didn't used to be Pro Mods. It used to be a different development team, but then Pro Mods took it over a couple of years back, and it's now part of the Pro Mods collection. Okay, so we're going over... Yeah, it'd be nice if it wasn't so dark. Okay, that's where we want to be. So this is going to be a good opportunity to see if the head tracker works well for reversing. Get ourselves turned around, and then the only problem is I do have to turn my head quite far to be able to see completely behind. You can see there. Okay, we may have to resort to the external camera for this one because this is a bit ridiculous. Okay, that's not so bad. Check behind again. Okay. The only thing is, when you have the head tracker enabled as well, you can't use the thumbsticks to look around. Like, if the head tracker's on, you can only use the head tracker. So again, we may have to do a little bit of external camera for the reversing and stuff like that. Ooh. But I don't mind doing that as long as the in-cab experience is a bit more realistic, you know. Okay, load cargo. Are you a real trucker, says Blair? I'm not, Blair, no. What are your pronouns, she, her? Thanks for asking, Cleverly Energy. Okay, there we go. It's starting to get a bit lighter, hopefully, as we drive. I mean, it's 4 AM, so it will start getting lighter as we drive. Okay. How much was that gear, says Cleverly Energy? So the steering wheel and side panel were £230 for the bundle. The gear shifter was £70. The handbrake £30, and the ignition lock here was £60. There might be a little bit of lag as well when I turn my head like too far in one go. I will try and keep, you know, nice smooth movements, but obviously it's very basic software. Sometimes there'll be a bit of a stutter if I turn really quickly. Not to mention the fact that I'm playing with so many mods that it's a miracle it even works without crashing in the first place. Step down a bit. Hey, enjoy your lives. Thanks, DM. Oh, another roundabout. Oh, too many roundabouts. It's a bit raining, says Captain Riley. It is indeed, Riley, yes. Hopefully it'll let up a bit. No Name says, I can guess where you are. Go ahead, No Name. Why is it so dark? Because it's 4 AM. Well, it's 4:41, so it'll be starting to get light soon. You're in Ireland? I am in Ireland, No Name, yes. I'm in Galway at the minute. Well, just left Galway. And we are transporting empty pallets to Lisbon. Step down. Have you been to Northern Ireland in ETS2? We're going there right now, No Name. Should I turn the wipers up? I think they're alright. I think they're alright there. I'm from Northern Ireland, says No Name. Nice one, No Name. Charlie says, get to 7,000 followers today, I'll put treasure boxes up. Thanks, Charlie. Like I say, it would be really great if we could hit 7k today. I'm fairly confident that if we don't, we will on Farm Sim Friday, because we always get quite a lot of followers on Farm Sim as well. But if we could reach it today, that would be really great. So here's hoping, you know. What's for dinner today? I don't know yet. We've not got much in. I need to do some shopping. I think we might have bolognese stuff, so maybe a bolognese. Big up the trucks. Thanks, Harry, and thanks for following as well. I think the camera might be slightly off-center, because when I'm staring straight ahead, I'm sort of looking off slightly to the side. So let me see if I can... if I just move the webcam over a little bit. Will that fix it? Not particularly. If anything, that's... well, it looks exactly the same. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What Scania is that, says KD Contracting. This is the Scania Streamline R730. Very powerful machine. My favourite truck. Absolutely love it. Please stop spamming, Ron. I'm not playing Farming Simulator 25. You can ask me as many times as you like. It's not going to happen. Ooh. Okay, I'm driving a little bit recklessly today. I think it might be because of the head tracker. I think it's making me feel more connected to the game, and I'm becoming a bit unhinged with my driving. I'm going to try and be more sensible with it. There we go, the sun's coming up now. It's starting to get a bit brighter. Hopefully the rain will stop as well. I don't think the frame does much for the frame rate on the stream. There we go. I'll put cruise control on, and we'll stick at about 40, which is what we're doing right now. It is a 50 zone, but the AI traffic's quite slow moving around here, so if we stick just below the speed limit, then we won't have any trouble. Hi Shane, how you doing? Okay, maybe we'll step it up to 45. How far are we, by the way? 3 hours 39. Have we crossed into Northern Ireland yet? No, we haven't even got to Sligo. Looking forward to this. Thanks, Dagger. How you doing? What HP is that? I think it's 730. I think that's why it's called the R730, because that's the horsepower. Thanks for following, Brad. Okay, I might pull into this repair place here while we're passing, because we need repairs, apparently. The only problem is I've been into this repair place before and I couldn't get out. No, I'm not going to go in there, because look at the traffic already. If we go in there, there's no way we're coming out. I need to change lanes as well, but I'm never going to get across there. Shit. I'll just have to cut across at the lights. Oh, it's the next set of lights anyway. That's not too bad. Are you getting to the closest to the border? Says No Name. Indeed I am, yes. Do you drive in real life? I don't, Annie, no. Is it multiplayer? Not today. An Enske official. This is single player because I'm playing with quite a lot of mods, and mods aren't supported on Truckers MP. Okay, changing lanes. You're in Sligo, says No Name. Yep, I am indeed. You can see on the map there, Sligo. I love your dress, it really suits you. Thank you, Annie. Have you got a head tracker on, says William Granger? I have, William. Yes, as you can see, we do have a head tracker, so I can look around the cab. And behind me, if I turn my head far enough. What's up? Says Emotion Mabeza. How are you doing? Thanks for following, by the way, Emotion Mabeza. Hey, King of BPL, how are you? Hello, Ginger. Yes, there's Ginger. The great thing about the head tracker is I can look at Ginger anytime that I want. He's right there on the dashboard. Oh, bless him. Do you have track IR, says Craig? Nope. I'm using open track, Craig. So with the newest version of OpenTrack, you don't need any other software. Previously I was using AI Track and OpenTrack, but you can do it all just through OpenTrack now. Which is really cool. Like I say, I do think it's really cool that you can do this with just a webcam. It is completely free, Craig, yes. I do think it's cool. Obviously, it's not quite as polished as if you were using like a Tobii eye tracker or some other expensive hardware. It's a little bit janky, but to say that it's free, I think that it's really cool that you can essentially get head tracking software that works off a webcam absolutely free. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Do you have cable controls, says Annie. What's cable controls? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Eyes on the road, Saul. Eyes on the road. That's another thing as well. Because of the eye tracker, if I take my eyes off the screen, I am literally taking my eyes off the road. It's not like I can still see where I'm going out in the corner of my eye. When I turn my head to look at the chat, it actually turns the in-game camera as well. So this is really going to encourage me to keep my eyes on the road a bit more often. Like places that keep all your cables from tangling. Oh no, I don't have any cable management, Annie. I'm terrible when it comes to cable management. They're all just dangling free under the desk down there. I've never had any problems though. I know people say that there's like safety issues with poor cable management because the cable's overheating and stuff like that, but I really don't think it's a problem with modern cables. I think it's one of those things that, like, 20 years ago, yes, but nowadays it's really not that big of an issue. It's like when people say, you know, like, sitting too close to the TV gives you bad eyes. Like, that's true for, like, older TVs, for, like, CRT TVs, but for modern TVs, it's really, like, it's, like, a negligible amount of harm. I think it's one of those situations where, you know, it used to be true, but today it's not really that big of a deal. Have you got a side pipe on the Scania? We don't on this one, no name, no. Why are you not on Truckers MP, says Craig? Because I'm playing with mods, Craig. I'm playing with almost 200 mods, and Truckers MP doesn't support mods. It supports pro mods, but no other mods. LED and OLED screens have no evidence to support damage to our retinas like old TVs. Exactly, Ross. Yeah, that's the point. That's exactly the point I was making. Like, it used to be true, but it's not true with modern technology. And I think the same is true with, like, cable management. Because I think, like, the biggest argument I've heard for cable management is, oh, if you don't manage your cables properly, they'll overheat and it can cause fires and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't think that's true. I think it used to be true with older cables, but I don't think it's true anymore. I've never, like, properly managed my cables, and I've never had problems with cables overheating, and I've never had fires or anything like that. My PC's never set on fire, I can confidently say. You can pile them up and you're good. Precisely, Ross, precisely. I mean, if you want to manage your cables just because it's easier, then that's fair enough. But there's no real, like, safety reason to do it in this day and age. Is that the farming wheel, says Craig? It is, yes, Craig. This is the heavy equipment wheel from Logitech. We have crossed into Northern Ireland, by the way. We're currently, well, we're just over the border. We're not really anywhere. Thanks for following Ross, the medieval doggo. Windy outside today, said Charlie. It has been, yeah. The sun's just starting to come out here now. But it has been a pretty chilly, breezy morning over here. Bit of rain as well. What are you hauling, says King of BPL? We are currently transporting empty pallets. We've switched trailers, so we got the Profiliner now. I think the Profiliner just is a bit more versatile in terms of the kind of jobs it could do, because last week we used the Feldbinder ADR trailer, which is a great trailer, and I do love doing ADR jobs, but there just aren't as many of those kind of jobs as there are with your standard pallet trailer, you know? So this trailer is going to give us a lot more choice in terms of the kind of jobs that we do. How much money do you think I would get for a Hori racing steering wheel, says Sean. I've no idea, Sean. I've never sold a steering wheel before. This is the only steering wheel I've ever owned, so I really don't... I'm really not the person to talk to about steering wheels in general. I've pulled a little bit too far forward, so I can't see... Oh, I can see. If I look out the left window, I can see the traffic light there. How's the camera moving, says Kyle. I'm using a head tracker, Kyle, called OpenTrack. More traffic. Is that a good wheel, says Sean? I think this is a good wheel, yeah. It's a very good entry-level wheel. It's very cheap. It's only £230 for the wheel and panel. You really won't find a trucking wheel any cheaper than that. It's not the best quality, you know. Again, it's cheap, so you kind of get what you pay for. But it's really good starting wheel. If it's like your first wheel, it's a good place to start. How come you didn't say thank you when I told you I will follow? Sorry, William. Thank you for following. Oh, it stopped raining now. Can turn that off. If you don't mind me asking, are you a voice changer surgery? Says MP. I'm not quite sure what your question means, MP. If you mean, am I using a voice changer? No, this is my natural speaking voice. If you mean, am I gonna have voice surgery? No, I don't intend to do that. Typical Northern Ireland traffic congestion, says King of BPL. Yeah, I've got realistic traffic density as well, so the traffic's even more dense than in the vanilla game. Okay, let's refuel. I can put my window back up now as well. Well, I can't because the engine's off. There we go. And I'll do that. I'll put that window down to wipe the rain off it, and then put it back up again. There we go, that's better. Okay. I'll have a quick drink before we get back on the road. The head tracker will go a bit crazy if I turn my head too far in this direction. It only really works when I'm looking towards the camera. You're good at driving, to be fair. Thanks, William. Does your brother watch your streams all, says Catman Charlie? No, I don't think any of my siblings really watch my streams. They do tune in from time to time. I've occasionally gotten messages from, like, my sister or whatever, like, oh, I watched your live stream for a bit today. But they never comment, they just lurk. They could be here right now, who knows? Hello all, how are you doing, Strawberry Plant? Welcome to the stream. Just wondering, says William. Just wondering what, William? I didn't see the question. Thanks for following, Kai. I live in Larne, says No Name. Nice one, No Name. I don't think we can go to Larne. I think it's pretty much just Lisbon. Let's have a look, actually. Oh, we can go to Larne. I've been to Larne, actually, as a matter of fact. But yeah, there's actually quite a lot in Northern Ireland: Newry, Lisbon, Antrim, Belfast, Larne, Ballymena, and Derry. There's actually more places that we can visit in Northern Ireland than there is in the Republic of Ireland. But these are from separate mods. Northern Ireland is from Pro Mods, and the Republic of Ireland is from a mod called Ireland Map. Is this Pro Mod, says Bethany? Yes, I am using Pro Mods, Bethany, among quite a lot of other mods as well. Did that go through, says William? It didn't, William, no. Sorry. Multiplayer today, says Truck Spotter. Not today, Truck Spotter. I am playing modded again, so far too many mods to be able to do Truckers MP. I would like to switch back to unmodded at some point soon, though, because SCS just released a new DLC called Farm Machinery, which adds in some new cargoes, tractors, combine harvesters, that sort of thing. So it would be good to switch back to single player, switch back to multiplayer at some point, so we can try out that new DLC. But for now, I'm going to stick with modded. Please tell me that one came through. It didn't, William. Sorry. It probably contains a keyword that's been flagged. When will it be convoy, says Truck Spotter. I don't know, Truck Spotter, when the next time I'll be doing convoys will be. But I'd definitely like to do it again at some point, because it is a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with it last time. Is this your only income, says Blake? No, Blake. If this was my only income, I would be dead, because I make approximately £5 a month on TikTok. I definitely don't make enough from this to survive off. But that's not really why I do it, you know. Is Pro Mods worth it because it's so hard to download? It's definitely worth it, Bethany, yeah. If you just follow the tutorial on the Pro Mods website, it's not too difficult to get up and running. Just keep it simple, just go with Pro Mods itself, and then if you want to get like Pro Mods Middle East and the Great Step, you can get those as well. But yeah, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Don't go for any other mods. Just start with Pro Mods. But there is a full tutorial on their website that shows you how to install it and what load order to put the files in and stuff like that. And I think they've got a forum as well, so there'll always be people to ask if you do need a hand with it. Whereabouts are we, by the way? Oh, we're nearly there. 35 minutes. Jaden says, I just got stuck at the end of my journey in Iceland on a hill. So annoying. Oh, damn, Jaden. Sorry to hear that. There's nothing worse than being like right at the very end of a long journey and then you get stuck or you flip the truck or you get damaged, you know, and you're just like, God damn, perfect job, ruined. Thanks for following ESC Estonia, how are you doing? Right in front of the parking spot as well. Damn, Jaden. That is unfortunate. I'm doing corn harvest in FS25. Nice one, No Name. Good luck with it. Single player? Yes, single player today, ESC Estonia. I am playing a quite heavily modded game, so no multiplayer at the moment. What's the game called, says Tom? Euro Truck Simulator. Euro Truck Simulator 2, actually. Do you play Farming Sim? I do Strawberry Plant every Friday, so come along on Friday if you want to see Farming Sim. It's my most popular series, so the chat's always very busy on a Friday, but do come along if you're interested. Okay, here we are, Lisbon. We haven't been here before, so I think we're discovering it for the first time. Buy a real one, says Pinkerton. A real what? Lisbon discovered. Nice one. Truck, says Pinkerton. Oh, yeah, because I can afford to go out and buy a real truck. Listen, I've not been funny, Pinkerton, but I can't afford a car. Literally, one of the biggest reasons that I don't drive is that I can't afford a car. So I'm not going to go out and buy a truck. Then don't spend it on makeup. How expensive do you think makeup is, Pinkerton? Do you actually think that I spend so much money on makeup that I could buy a truck instead? I buy like a single container of foundation every couple of months, and it costs like a £5, and that's pretty much the only makeup that I ever wear. How does it know where you're looking, says George? I'm using an eye tracker, George. Well, a head tracker called OpenTrack. How much did it cost altogether? My entire setup is about 2k. The computer was 1,000, and then everything else, all the peripherals and stuff, was another 1,000. Then you can afford a car if all that is 2k. I didn't buy this all in one go, Cookie. People, every time I talk about how expensive my setup was, people always assume that I just went out one day and bought all of this. Like, I literally just went shopping one day and came home with a computer, 4 monitors, a steering wheel, headphones, microphone, a desk, a chair. Like, I did not buy this all in one go. This has taken me years to build my setup to this level. What about the game? How much does the game cost? The game is about £13. It's on sale quite frequently though. Normally it's about £4 when it's on sale, so definitely stick around for a sale if you want to get it a bit cheaper, but £13 isn't really that expensive anyway. I didn't assume that, but you could have used that money to save for a car instead, mate. I could have, Cookie, but I didn't, because apart from the price of the car, I also just don't want to drive anyway. Like, even if I could afford a car right now, I still wouldn't get one because I don't want to drive. Okay, next job. Is this game fun, says William? It is, William, yes. This is one of my favourite games. I absolutely love Euro Truck Simulator. Okay, next job. I can't click on Lisbon on the map, unfortunately. Come on, there we go. Okay, Lisbon to Dublin, Lisbon to Birmingham, Lisbon to Carlisle, Lisbon to Limerick. I want to try and get further east today. So let's see if we can get over to mainland Europe. Oh, we could go Algeria. That's not bad. We haven't been to France for a while, so this isn't too long of a job. Across the UK, down through France, and over to Algeria. Precast stairs. I think that's a pretty good job. I think that's what we'll go for next. My family's from Limerick, says Jack. Nice one, Jack. Yeah, I just think we've been in Ireland for a while now. We got here in the last stream, and then we've already spent the first half of this, well, the first hour of the stream nearly in Ireland. I do want to explore some different countries as well. So I think we'll go with these precast stairs to Algeria. Have you ever been to your house in the game, says Tom? I can't go to my house in the game, Tom, unfortunately, because Doncaster isn't in the game. The nearest city is Sheffield, which is like 20 miles away from where I live. Thanks for following Footy for Life. Can you go to Asia, says Strawberry Plant? I can, yes, Strawberry Plant. I don't think we will get to do that today, but we can head across to Asia. You can see here, we can visit a tiny little slither of China over here. We can visit Dalian and a couple of other places. We can visit North and South Korea. We can visit Laos. We can visit Indonesia, Singapore. There's a few places in the very far east of Asia that we can visit, and a few places in like the west of Asia as well, like sort of more Middle Eastern. I guess this is technically part of Asia, but yeah, there's a few Asian places that we can visit. I don't know if we'll get there today because it's like such a long way to drive, but we are going to Africa. That's our next job. We're heading to Africa right now. Are you thinking of getting it cut off, says Kia? Nope, I'm not. Never wanted to, never will. Why not, says Kia? Because I don't want to. Can I just say, by the way, this is an insanely bizarre question to ask someone on the internet. Why don't you want to cut your penis off? What a strange thing to ask someone on the internet. Hey you, why don't you want to cut your penis off? It's just such a strange thing to ask. Like you wouldn't ask this to a cis person. That's the thing. You wouldn't just go to some random guy's live stream and be like, "Hey, are you gonna get your dick chopped off?" You wouldn't say that. You would not ask a cis man that question. So why would you ask it to a trans woman? You have to ask yourself, if it's a weird question to ask somebody who isn't trans, then it's a weird question to ask somebody who is. How do you keep looking around? Do you have joysticks on your steering wheel, says Banjo Man? I do have joysticks on the steering wheel, Banjo Man, yes, but that's not how I'm looking around today. I'm actually using a head tracker. So I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack, which allows you to use your webcam as a head tracker. I've got a second webcam above my big monitor. So when I look around in the cab, all I have to do is turn my head. Pretty cool stuff. And it's absolutely free as well, so if you've got a spare webcam and you play a lot of Euro Truck, definitely check it out. Do you intend to do voice surgery, says Alex? Not surgery, Alex, no. I do intend to do voice training. Oh, I think we might need to be the other way around for this. I do want to do voice training, yes, but not surgery. I don't really consider it a necessary thing for me. I do actually need to be facing the other way. Oh, don't hit those pallets. How do you see beside you there is no monitor? What do you mean, Jack? I do have a monitor. There is a monitor here, where I'm pointing right now, just under my main webcam. I have a monitor, which is where I'm checking the chat. And then I've got another monitor in front of me, which is what I'm playing the game on. You excited for the Coaches DLC, says Jaggies? Yes, I am actually quite excited for the Coaches DLC. I've never really been a bus person. I've never really been massively into buses. But I think the Coaches DLC will be a cool thing to try. It's something a little bit different, you know? Are you on PC? I am on PC, Cody, yes. I didn't like Bus Sim, but the thought of it coming to ETS, I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a cool idea. It'll definitely be worth checking. Okay, there we go. Do you play other car or racing games? I don't play any racing games, Senna. No, I'm not really into racing games. I do a lot of like heavy truck games, like Euro Truck, Farming Sim, Snow Runner, like heavy duty driving games. But not racing. I'm not really into racing. Not even hating, but you might want to fix up that posture. I get told this in every single stream, Lucas. I promise you I don't have bad posture. It's just the camera angle. Unfortunately, because of all the stuff on my desk, the only way for you to see my face and my steering wheel is for the camera to be at a really high angle looking down at me. So yes, from the camera angle, it does look like I'm really proper leaned over like this, but I promise my posture is not bad. I'm sitting upright in the chair. Might as well get Truckers MP. I love Truckers MP. Unfortunately, I can't play Truckers MP with mods, and I am playing a heavily modded game right now. I've got over 190 mods active. Unfortunately, Truckers MP, you can't play it with mods. There is a pro mods server, but I've got way more than just pro mods. No pensioner driving here, says Jags. Yeah, exactly. I'm sat way back. Oh, hey Ginger, how you doing? What does mods mean? Mods, like game mods, modifications for the game. So most of the mods that I've got are map mods that add in new map areas, new countries and cities that you can visit. I've got a few other mods as well, like graphics overhauls and stuff like that. Who's Ginger, says Cody? That's Ginger. Ginger is the cat. We have a cat in the cab to keep us company on those long journeys. There he is. And he's very cute. What's the eye tracker, says Eva? So I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack. It works off a webcam, so if you've got a spare webcam and you want to use it as an eye or head tracker, get OpenTrack. Very good free software, and it's not too difficult to set up. Okay, how far? Okay, we're heading south. We're getting the ferry from Dublin, I think, over to the UK. Well, the mainland UK. Technically, we are in the UK right now, because we're in Northern Ireland, which is currently part of the United Kingdom. And we'll say no more about that. Are you considering getting a boyfriend? No, I'm fine as I am at the moment. Thank you very much. I'm not looking for anything at the moment. Oh, the light's changed already. I put the handbrake on for nothing. Where's the turn signal from? So I'm using the Logitech heavy equipment panel as my indicator, because it's got a little stick on it, which is supposed to be used for farming sim to control like vehicle arms and stuff like that. But it works really well as an indicator stalk for Euro Truck. Chin Up Fella says, I'm back baby gold version. Okay, I'd like everyone to welcome I'm back baby gold version to the stream. So this guy, I responded to a comment that he left on someone else's video, and now he won't leave me alone. Apparently I pissed him off so much that he started commenting Chin Up Fella on every single one of my videos, and now he's also joined the live stream. So, thank you, I'm back baby gold version. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Charlie's even pinned the comment. Thank you, Charlie. The pin of shame. Where's your steering setup from? Says Harry. The steering wheel is from Logitech. It's the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. I got it as a bundle with the side panel and 2 pedals, £230. Not bad for a starting bundle. When did you transition? Says Matthias, or Mathis, sorry, 4 years ago. I came out in July of 2021. So pretty much exactly 4 years ago. How do you do the head tracking? Says Brown Slug. The head tracker is called Open Track. It works off a webcam. So I've got a spare webcam which is pointing right at me. And Open Track lets you use that as a head tracker. Do you drink tap water? It says full stop. Yeah, of course I do. I pay for the water that comes out of my taps, why wouldn't I drink it? Like, is that not a normal thing to do? Is it not normal to drink tap water? Oh, I'm about to hit someone there. There we go. Hey beautiful, how are you today? How are you doing, Wee Man Plays? Welcome to the stream. V8 says Will, yes, this is a V8. You can see the V8 badge in the window there. Why do you not just drive a car at this point? All that stuff must cost more than a car, says Neve. Because I don't want to drive a real car, that's why. Sounds so good, says Weeman Plays. Thanks, Weeman Plays. I've got a few sound mods that make the in-game sounds a little bit more realistic, the vehicle sounds and stuff like that. Do you have a partner, says Mathis? I don't, Mathis, no. I am single, but I'm happy on my own at the minute. I'm not looking for anyone. How old are you, says Southern Bikes? I'm 26, Southern Bikes. Do you have an eye tracker on the gameplay, Lewis? Yes, I've got a head tracker called Open Track. Hello, Food City, how are you doing? Oh, fly in my room. That's with having the windows open because of the heat. Drive faster. I mean, it's a 60 zone, and I'm currently doing 53, so I can't really go much faster. I can step it up to 50. There we go, 55. What will happen if you go over 60? I'll probably crash because the AI traffic is all driving slower than 60. The AI traffic normally drives slightly slower than the speed limit, so if the speed limit's 60, the AI traffic is normally driving like 55. So if I drove the speed limit, I'd be constantly braking and slowing down so that I don't ram into the back of the AI traffic in front of me. Is that a Logitech? Says BH8. It is BH8, yes. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. What time do you start the stream on Friday? 3 PM UK time, Strawberry Plant. I'm a bit over the lane there, by the way. Have you thought about turning on lane assist, says Adam. I didn't even know lane assist was a thing in this game, so no. I've got my full beam, my high beams on, by the way. I don't know why you can barely see the effect, but I have got my headlights on. They're just not doing anything. Lane assist just alerts you if you're out of lane. Oh, thanks for letting me know, Viper. I don't really think I'd have much use for that. I know when I'm out of lane. Do you know the Scania 143? I don't, Will, no. I'm not really an expert on trucks, you know. Is this game realistic, like countries and everything, says BH8? Fairly, yeah. I mean, the map's smaller than real life. It's at a scale of 1 to 19. But it's not a bad representation of the real-life countries that are in the game. When you stream your Farming Sim? Friday at 3 PM. Do you like Lilitino? Nope. How much was the game? Says Food City. About £13. Although it is frequently on sale, and it normally costs about a £5 when it's on sale. Okay, change lanes here. Is it a wig, says Will? Nope, this is my real hair. I've been growing it for over 5 years now. Oh, I think I'm getting tired. We will be able to sleep a little bit on the ferry, but we still might need to sleep fairly soon as well. Like, do a proper sleep. We'll see. Where you from, says Will. I'm from Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Lived here all my life. Is Saul your name? It is, Mathis, yes. Donny Lad says Food City. Well, last, but yeah. Average Donny citizen. I mean, I couldn't, like, name on one hand the amount of trans people I know who live in Doncaster. Oh. Okay, we're just merging without looking, are we? Good. What's the point of the game, says BH8? Just to drive. You just do deliveries and make money. Right now we're delivering precast stairs to Algeria, actually. We're still only in Dublin, so it's going to be a fairly big job. Why have you got a dress on? Why not? I've finished the corn harvest. Nice one, no name. How long would that take you, says BH8? I think it's probably going to take us the whole stream. So about 2 hours real time. Love this game. Memories, says Kane. Oh, I love this game. One of my absolute favourites. Absolutely love Euro Truck. Can you do Farming Sim tomorrow, says Food City? Nope. Farming Sim will be on Friday. I don't like to interfere with the schedule. The whole reason that I have a schedule is so that people can, you know, so that people don't miss my streams. Like, if people want to watch Farming Sim, they know that it's always going to be on a Friday. Whereas if I just randomly decided to play it on a Wednesday, the people who, like, regularly watch on a Friday are going to be annoyed that they've missed a stream because I just randomly did it on a Wednesday for some reason. So I do. There is a reason that I have a schedule. There is a reason that I only play games on specific days every week, and I do try to stick to that as much as possible. Don't you get more views on Farming Sim? I do, BH8. Yes, Farming Sim is my most viewed stream at the moment. It didn't always used to be. This actually used to be my most viewed stream. I once got 300 followers in a single Euro Truck stream. That was the best stream that I ever did. Never had that level of success in a stream since. But yeah, this used to be the game that got the most views. I think because FS25 is a newer game, that pulls in a lot more people. So Farming Sim is the one that gets the most views at the moment. Maybe like 200 or 300 people view. And we normally get like 60, 70 followers per stream, which is not too shabby, you know, not to be sniffed at. Holmesy says, personally think you're a decent streamer, consistent and interact with people and polite. Thank you, Holmesy. I do think consistency is key. Like I say, having a strict schedule and, you know, streaming at the same time every single week, you know, I think does go a long way. Because, like I say, if someone likes my Farming Sim streams, they know that they're always going to be at the same time every single Friday, you know? It goes a long way to retaining viewership. Like, if you just stream on random days all the time and no one ever knows when you're streaming, then they're not going to view your streams, you know? Okay, I think we need to be in the next booth. I like American Truck Simulator, says Kane. I've never actually played American Truck Simulator. I've said it before, but I'm not really into American-style trucks and American-style trucking. I don't like the big, wide open, flat countryside and, you know, the big rigs and stuff like that. I prefer the tighter roads and the cab-over style trucks that we have here in Europe. So I've just never really been interested in doing American style trucking. You know, more power to you if that's your cup of tea. But for me, I have enough fun in Euro Truck. I really don't need to play American Truck Simulator as well. I'm compacting the corn. Nice one, no name. Can you play Euro Sim on console? And if so, is it any good? You can't, unfortunately, Alan. Euro Truck is a PC-only game. Are you from the north or south? I'm from the north, Flynn. I'm from South Yorkshire. Why is your wheel so small? Says Connor. Because it's cheap. A small wheel is a cheap wheel. I really don't need to indicate here. Please drive on the left-hand side of the road. Oh yes, we're still in the UK. For a second I thought we were in France. We aren't. We are still in the UK. We're actually in Wales. So... why's your side deck on that angle, says Will. It's more realistic, Will. In a lot of real tractors, the side panel is normally at the side of the tractor, facing in that direction. And I just so happen to have a corner-shaped desk. In fact, I actually bought a corner-shaped desk on purpose so that I could have the side panel facing towards me like that. Because it's just more realistic to an actual tractor, you know? Welcome to Wales. Here we are. Is your Patreon still £1? It is, Draydog, yes. Always £1. I don't think it's ever going to cost more than that. Maybe eventually when I get a much bigger following, I might do like a higher tier. But I like the idea of having a £1 tier just as like a basic, you know, just chip in a little bit to support what I do here on TikTok. And then, like I say, I could eventually do a higher tier if I wanted to offer something a bit extra. But I think, like I say, for the level of content that I actually offer on my Patreon, I think £1 a month is very fair. The light hasn't changed yet. There we go. Now it's changed. I'll get you Patreon. Thanks, Ob, if you do. Thank you very much. It would be diagonal, says Will. I mean, yeah, for maximum realism, it should be a diagonal angle, but unfortunately, that's not really possible, unless I bought a desk that had a tiny little diagonal portion on the corner. This is as realistic as I can get with the desk that I've got, you know? Is that a train? Oh, it is! Oh, it's a real train as well. It's a Class 66. Since when? That must be a mod. I don't know what mod that is, but that's got to be a mod, because there's no way that the Class 66 is in the base game. That's cool. I didn't know that it had real trains in it. Maybe that's a pro mods thing. Who knows? The horn was not accurate, though. That was not a Class 66 horn. Are you in Wales, says Max? We are, Max. We've just arrived in Wales on the very northwest, Holyhead, because we just caught the ferry over from Dublin. We're going through to England, then down into France, all the way across France and into Algeria, which is where our destination is for this job. Is this what you do for a living, says Food City? No, Food City. Like I say, I definitely don't make enough money from this to do it for a living. Maybe one day, but at the minute, I only make a few pounds a month from this, really. Which is greatly appreciated, you know, gifts and donations and stuff like that are appreciated. But definitely nowhere near the amount to, like, support myself from this alone, you know? Okay, banger, 20 miles. Lovely. All today, says Max. Hopefully all today, yes. I think this job we should be able to do by 6 o'clock. So it's probably going to be this job for the rest of the stream now. It's a good game, says Ethan. Oh, Taxi Life. I mean, I could check it out. I could check it out. Where are you driving to, says Harry? We are driving to Algeria. Specifically, Borj Bu Ararij, sorry. Borj Bu Ararij. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm probably absolutely butchering that. But it's in Algeria. Actually, isn't it French? Don't they speak French in Algeria? Because it used to be a French colony. So maybe that boo is pronounced bo. Borj Bu Ararij. I don't know. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce it because it's going to be wrong. I love Taxi Life, says Harry. They have a delivery driver add-on now, like Uber Eats. That sounds quite interesting, actually. It might be worth checking out. Do you ever get bored, says Food City? Not really, because I only play the game for like 3 hours at a time for the live streams. If I get bored of a game, I just stop playing it and then come back when I fancy playing it again, you know? I do think it's important to know when to take a break from a game. You know, it's important to say, you know, I'll take a break from this for now. If you start getting bored of a game, then just stop playing it, you know? Especially if it's a game that you really enjoy. You know, I wouldn't want to get bored of a game that I really, really enjoy. But even the best games in the world, you can get bored if you play them too much, right? So you gotta moderate how much time you spend on games, even games that you really, really love. You never get bored of Minecraft, says Catman Charlie. I mean, I kind of do, to be honest. I don't actually play Minecraft outside of the live streams at the minute, because even Minecraft I do eventually get a little bit fatigued with it. I love playing the game on stream, but yeah, I haven't actually played Minecraft just on my own for quite a while now, because I don't want to get bored of it, you know? Shift down a bit. I've tried to get into Euro Truck Sim, but I get bored. I just get bored. I don't know why, says Strawberry Plant. I mean, if it's not your game, then fair enough, you know. Like, not everyone has the same interest in games. What one person finds boring, another person finds exciting. At the end of the day, if it's not your cup of tea, then it is what it is. How long in-game will it take to get there, says James? It's probably going to take about 2 hours real time. In-game, 38 hours. So not too far, really. Penman Back Tunnels we're entering now. Oh, shit. Slight crash there. Oh, Welsh Evans on YouTube says, hello there, how are you doing, Welsh Evans? Strom says, only in Ohio. Yeah, original meme there. But thanks for the comments over on YouTube. How are you controlling the cab camera, says Joe. I'm using a head tracker, Joe, called OpenTrack, which works off a webcam. Why are you not becoming a real-life truck driver? Oh, well, that just told me. Yeah, you can... a lot of people ask me why I don't do this in real life. To that, I say, watch me play this game for about half an hour, and you will have an answer to your question. A fly, again. Piss off. God, the traffic's moving pretty slowly here as well. You should get a HGV Arctic, says Will. Again, I have absolutely no intention of driving in real life, because I know for a fact that if I drove in real life, I would be dead in a week. And I'm not exaggerating. I would die so quickly behind the wheel of a real truck. Have you seen that the episode of Top Gear where Jeremy is testing the Reliant Robin and he keeps completely rolling it over? That would be me on day one if I drove a truck. I guarantee I would find a way to just roll it completely upside down within the first 5 hours of driving. Increase the following distance between you and the vehicle in front. I mean, I'm doing 25 miles an hour. I really don't think we need to worry about stopping distances right now. It's hard to flip a truck, says Will. You'd be surprised, Will. I'd find a way to do it. I would find a way to do it. How do you use high and low gear with a six-speed shifter and no switch? Says Ollie G. So I have the 7th gear. I've actually got an 8-speed shifter, and the 7th gear is mapped to switch between high and low range. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then if I switch to 7th, that switches up to high range, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I do get the full range of 12 gears, and 1 reverse gear, obviously. You would be good at farming in real life, says No Name. I mean, maybe I would, who knows? Let's see the rig, says Alf. Here is the truck. It's the Scania Streamline R730, in the colours of the Trans Pride flag, obviously, and the trailer is a Krone Profiliner. We're currently transporting 22 tons of precast concrete stairs to Algeria. If we ever get out of Wales, the traffic's really bad here. How come you're using an 8x4 for a curtain sider? I use this truck for everything, Alf. I find it's a lot easier to just have one truck that you use for everything. Yes, this truck is overpowered for this particular trailer, but the beauty of it is that I could finish this job and then go straight onto a heavy-duty job without having to switch trucks. Whereas if I was, you know, driving a tiny little 6-wheeler, I would then have to switch trucks to do anything heavier, you know? I do have the spare axle raised at the minute, though. You can see that I've only got 6 wheels on the ground right now because the trailer is just not heavy enough to have all 8 wheels down. Put the axle down on your truck, says Toby. Again, there's no need to, Toby. I'm only carrying 22 tons. There's really no need for me to have all 8 wheels on the ground. You should get a fleet, then you can see your trucks on the road, says Will. I do have a fleet, Will. I've got about 10 trucks, actually. I just liked this one. This is just my favourite one. How do you move your camera? With your mouse or eye tracking? I've got a head tracker, Edmund, called Open Track. It works off a webcam. I'm going to have to sleep, by the way. I didn't realise how tired I was. There is a rest stop in Manchester, so we'll make a slight detour to go and take a rest in Manchester. Would you ever be a truck driver IRL? No, MIW. I'm not interested in doing this as a real job. Why have you not got employees? I do have employees, Will. In fact, we can see what my employees are up to right now if we check driver manager. We've got 10 employees. 2 of them don't have any jobs at the minute because they're actually driving buses. But yes, we've got 10 employees, all driving different trucks. We got quite a few. Luke is driving the Volvo FH at the minute. That's actually the first truck that I bought when I first started playing the game. But he's driving that right now. That's what I need, a head tracker using mouse is taxing, says Edmund. I would recommend, if you've got a spare webcam lying around, the software's completely free, so it saves you buying like an expensive head tracking hardware, you know. Just use an old webcam, and it works pretty well. Why, says MIW? Oh, why don't I want to be a truck driver? I just don't. I'm not interested in it. I'm not confident in driving in general. I don't drive a car, and I don't really plan to. I mean, if I'm not confident enough to drive a car, I don't see myself driving a truck, to be quite honest. Do you play Truck as MP? I do, Louis, yes. Obviously, I'm on single player at the minute because I'm playing with quite a lot of mods, but I have done quite a bit of Truck as MP in the past. Do you live in a city, says Will? I do. I live in Doncaster, which has been a city since 2022. So actually, I've been transgender longer than Doncaster has been a city. Interesting bit of trivia there. I swear it was always a city, says Draydog. Nope. Doncaster got city status by royal assent in 2022, along with, I think there were 7 other cities added to the list in 2022. But yeah, it was a long time coming because Doncaster is definitely big enough to be a city. It's a fairly populated area, but yeah, we have only officially been a city since 2022. Okay, I desperately need to sleep as well. I've had 2 avoid sleeping offences already. Nice posture. Thanks, F. My posture is nice, actually. Okay, here's the rest stop. Only a boring git would play this game, it says user949. Well, I mean, that's your opinion, but if you think I'm a boring git, then fair enough, I'm a boring git. In fairness, I do come from a long line of boring gits. My granddad was a boring git, my dad was a boring git, my mum's a boring git. So maybe I am destined to be a boring git. Gender, sorry, says Louis. I'm a trans woman, Louis. I came out 4 years ago, so I was raised as a boy. But I came out in 2021, and I've lived as a woman ever since. Oh, I'm in 9th gear there. Should be in 3rd. Nothing wrong with being a boring git. I'm just as boring, says Edmonds. The thing is, though, like, I don't think there's really any such thing as a boring person. I think that some people just have interests that other people find boring. You know, if you find something interesting, then more power to you. You know, I think it comes from this idea that everyone must have the same interests and, you know, must enjoy the same things. So if you don't enjoy the things that other people enjoy, it makes you boring. But again, it's all relative. I mean, I've said it before, but I find football boring. I think football is incredibly boring. There's nothing that would bore me more than just sitting and watching people kick a ball around for 90 minutes. But other people find football really exciting, and that's fine. It's fine for you to find something exciting and me to not find it exciting, right? We all have different interests. Okay, I'm not going to hit that red truck, am I? Well said, I agree, I find cricket boring. There you go, Edmund, see? Like I say, I think just people... Everyone has different things that they enjoy and different things that they don't enjoy. And that's just how it is. That's life, you know? And it's okay. What the hell? Lorries have 9 gears, says MIW. This lorry has 12 gears, MIW. Well, technically it has 14, because it's got 2 reverse gears as well. And are we counting neutral as a gear? I don't think neutral counts as a gear, but if neutral does count as a gear, then we've got 15 gears. But I don't think... I wouldn't count neutral. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's thundering. Wait, no, it's not thundering. I thought that was a flash of lightning, but it was actually just the skybox forgot what time it was. I couldn't handle a lorry, can just about do a Peugeot 107, says MIW. Fair enough, MIW. Okay. Let's get on the road again. This time I'm going to mark my next rest stop before we set off. So that we don't fall asleep at the wheel again. I think, well, actually, we might be able to get all the way to Dover. How far is Dover? 8 hours 17. Yeah, well, that's fair enough, because we can sleep on the ferry then. So we don't need to put the next rest stop into our sat-nav just yet. I am going to have to put the window down again so we can see the rear view mirror, though. And over on that side as well. And I've just crashed. Okay, lovely. Drive away, Saul. Drive away like nothing happened. Why don't you become a HGV driver, says ABC Clips? Because I've literally just crashed twice in the space of 20 seconds. That's why. Again, if you wonder why I don't do this in real life, just watch the stream for about 10 minutes and you will have the question answered. You can take HGV lessons, says ABC Clips. You can, but I don't want to. Okay, this rain is probably going to cause quite a bit of lag, by the way. I apologise in advance. Hopefully it's not too loud either. I'm going to turn my headphones down a little bit because it's a bit loud for me, but hopefully it's not too loud on the stream. I love to chit-chat, says MIW. Well, it's nice to chit-chat with you, MIW. The turbo's a bit loud, but everything else is good. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Edmund. Obviously, I can't really put the window up because I won't be able to see the rearview mirror. But as soon as it stops raining, we'll put the window back up. Okay, we might even get up to 12 here. I think that's the first time we got up to 12 today. Probably won't last very long. Fly. We're about halfway through the stream, by the way, and I don't think we're going to hit 7k today. We have less than 100 to go. We got about 80 to go, which is absolutely amazing. But it's not looking likely that we're going to hit 7k today. So I'll keep my fingers crossed for Friday. By all means, please do follow, though. Please do help me to get 7k today if we can. Share the stream, you know, follow if you haven't already. It would be really amazing if we could hit it today. But yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Friday at this point. Do you use clutch as well, says Edmund? I don't, Edmunds. I don't have a clutch pedal, I've only got brake and accelerate. I would like to get a clutch pedal, you know, for a bit more realism, but at the minute, I've only got the two. Thanks for following SRW31 and Alan Malone. Like I say, it could still happen today. We could get very lucky. I just don't see it happening, to be honest. Which is fine. I can wait a couple more days. But I am going to start working on my 7k video, so that as soon as we do hit it, I can drop it straight away. What do you think of people identifying as animals, says Will? I think it doesn't happen, is what I think. I have no opinion about it, because they don't. People don't identify as animals. In the very rare case that people do, it's normally a mental health problem. which obviously they should get checked out, but nobody actually does, though. Like, no rational, mentally sound person actually identifies as an animal. It doesn't actually happen. Or inanimate objects, says Edmonds. Yeah, exactly. People are always like, well, you know, what if people start identifying as washing machines? Yeah, they won't. That's not happening, and it's not gonna happen. It's always whataboutism, you know. Oh shit! Oh shit! I accidentally switched to reverse instead of 12. Okay, we're still in control. It doesn't help that there's a fly. There's a fly in the cab. Get away. God, this game's so realistic. They've even added flies to the cab. What number of genders are there, says Banjo Man? I don't know, Banjo Man. At least 2. There's man and woman, obviously. But, you know, there's a spectrum in between. It's kind of like asking how many numbers are there between 0 and 1. Like, an infinite amount. Potentially. Oh god, okay. It's getting foggy now as well, so the visibility is going to be really low. We might have to try and drive a little bit more safely from this point forwards. Do you have the expensive eye tracking, says Stin? I don't. I've got a free eye tracker called OpenTrack. It works with a webcam. It's really great. I highly recommend it if you don't want to buy expensive eye tracking hardware or software. But yes, it's absolutely free. All you need is a webcam. Yours looks so clean. Thanks, Stin. The webcam's not free. No, of course the webcam's not free, Carl V. I'm going to go quickly download the tracker now, then I'll be back. How long are you on for, says Edmonds. I'm on till 6, Edmonds. Okay, I'm really going to have to slow down, because I almost turned off there when I wasn't supposed to as well. Okay, I'm slowing down. Visibility is so low right now, it's so hard to see where I'm going. I'm gonna drive slowly. We'll keep it below 50 for the time being, until it starts to get a bit clearer. Carl V says you can use iPhone 2 as a camera if you want to use eye tracker. Oh, cool. Good to know, Carl. So if you have an iPhone, you might not even need a webcam. I don't have an iPhone, though. I've got an Android. Nope, I just crashed again. I didn't check my mirror before changing lanes. And that fly's still here. Okay, the fly is starting to get on my nerves right now. I don't want to have to pause the game and try and catch a fly, but it's really starting to piss me off. I don't know if you'll even see it on the stream. It might just look like I'm swatting at thin air, but there is a fly here, I promise. And it won't leave me alone. Thanks for the rose, Edmonds. Do you put makeup on, says Will? I do, Will, yes. Normally I just put on a bit of foundation for my live streams. If it's for a video, I'll usually do a little bit more, like a bit of lipstick, maybe some eyeshadow. But for my live streams, my webcam is not that clear, so I don't really need to put too much effort in. So usually just a little bit of foundation is all I use for live streams. Oh my god, there's 2 of them. There's 2 fucking flies. Holy shit. Plot twist. There's 2 flies, everybody. There are 2 flies right now. Piss off! Go away! Could it get any worse than this? I mean, there could be 3 flies. So it could get worse. Now that I've said that, there probably will be 3 flies in a few minutes. What's with the sudden frame rate stutter? Says Rapid Reels. It's because of the eye tracker, Rapid Reels. It is free software, so it's not going to be as smooth as like your more expensive eye trackers. So there is the occasional stutter and stuff like that. Again, that's just the eye tracking software. But I think it's a small price to pay to have, you know, free eye tracking. What does AMA mean, says Xander? AMA is short for Ask Me Anything, Xander. I'm here to answer your questions. One day the books will be burned again, says European. I'm not sure if you mean that as if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But yes, we are dangerously close to 1930s style book burnings. I mean, just look at some of the books that are being banned in the United States right now. Defo a good thing, says European. Yes, because if history's taught us anything, it's that burning books is always a good thing. That's definitely what we learned from the last time it happened, European. 'Will you be live streaming GTA 6, says Daniel Foley. Good question, Daniel. It would be really cool to do. I actually think it would be really great to play GTA 6 on stream when it comes out. So maybe. 100% those books need to be burned. Okay. Whatever, European. Okay. I don't know why I even entertain comments like that, because I'm not going to change your opinion. There's no point in even trying with some people. Need to stop hogging that middle lane, says Ben. Right, this is another reason why I don't want to drive in real life, because there are so many seemingly stupid rules. I don't understand why the middle lane even exists if you're never allowed to use it. Why Why do roads even have 3 lanes if you're literally never supposed to go in the middle lane? I don't understand. This is why I don't want to drive in real life, because that's such a stupid rule. Like, stop hogging the middle lane. Why is the middle lane there if it's not to be driven in? I don't get it. Willem says, your PC can't even handle Euro Truck Simulator. My PC can actually handle Euro Truck Simulator perfectly fine, Willem. My internet is the thing that can't handle Euro Truck Simulator, which is why the stream always lags. Any plans for this evening after you finish streaming, says Daniel? Not really, Daniel. Probably just going to chill this evening. Nothing really planned. Oh, I think it stopped raining now, so I can turn the windscreen wipers off as well. Xander says, what does he mean by books need to be burned? Oh, so European is referring to the Nazi book burnings in the 1930s when they burned books about history, science, you know. They especially burnt quite a lot of books about gay and trans history and research. And he's saying that's a good thing and it should happen again. Which is... I mean, you're literally being a Nazi. I mean, I don't... Let's call the spade here. If you're saying this thing that the Nazis did was good, then you're a Nazi. Like, let's... Why are we trying to sugarcoat this? I mean, he's not even trying to hide it. He's literally just commented absolutely. So he's literally... He doesn't even mind being called a Nazi. He's admitting to being a Nazi. Which begs the question, why the fuck are you here? Why are you engaging with it, says Catman Charlie. I mean... Because it's a bit of a laugh, to be honest. I find it's better to like publicly ridicule these kind of comments than to just ignore them, because we can all see that what European is saying here is objectively stupid. Like, this is not a matter of opinion. The things that you are saying are stupid. And they should be called out. Rather than just ignoring them, we should be saying, this is fucking stupid. Which is what I'm doing. Whereabouts are we, by the way? Let me check the map again. Okay, we're on the M25 ring road, so we're coming up to Dover. Not too far now. Judah, says Kay. Okay, so you're a Nazi as well. Lovely. I find it amazing as well, by the way, that TikTok doesn't just automatically ban these people, because I've literally gotten comments removed when I've, like, called someone stupid. Like, I've literally just said, you're stupid, and the comment has been removed for violating terms of service. But people like European here can come onto my live stream and just spout full-on Nazi ideology, and it's totally fine. TikTok doesn't have a problem with that. TikTok, as far as TikTok's concerned, that's all good. You can be a Nazi if you want. Where's your wheel from, says Ariel. This wheel is from Logitech. It's the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. I got it as a bundle with the side panel here for £230, and it's a very good starting wheel. I do recommend if you want to get your first wheel. It's a good place to... It's a good go-to to start with. Okay. So at this point in the stream, I am going to ban European because he's a Nazi, and I'm also going to ban K because he's a Nazi. Are there any other Nazis watching? Let me know, and I will immediately add you to the block list, because I'm getting bored of this now. I'm literally just here to play Euro Truck. Why are we discussing Nazi discourse? can I not just drive a truck and be normal about it? Can we see the truck, says Glowing Spots? You certainly can, Glowing Spots. Here's the truck. It is the Scania R730 Streamline. Absolutely, I can't keep it in a straight line, but it's an absolutely fantastic truck. Obviously, I've got it in the paint, in the colours of the Trans Pride flag, which I'm really happy with. I love this paint job. Seen loads of Nazis doing lives and they're not getting taken down. It's mad, says Glitterfart. Yeah, it is crazy what TikTok allows through, and then the tiniest things that they find unacceptable. It's really weird. But that's enough. Let's end the conversation there. No more Nazi talk. Okay, I've said my piece. If you're a Nazi, fuck off. I mean, it's as simple as that. Let's get back to the actual game. When you play multiplayer, says Ananske Official. I'm not sure yet, Ananske. We'll see. I'm quite enjoying the single player at the minute, but I would definitely like to do more Truckers MP and maybe do some convoys as well. So we'll see in future streams. I love how you can see in front in this type of truck when I'm on American trucks. So hard to see in front. Yeah, that's one thing I definitely dislike about T-cabs. Like, they have this huge bonnet that sticks out really far, whereas with a cab over, you know, the bonnet is directly in front of you. Like, it's so much safer when you have this much visibility up close. Like, I can't imagine literally not being able to see like 4 or 5 feet in front of the cab because you got this massive bonnet there. I think cab overs are much safer just from that alone, you know. We're in Kent, by the way, Charlie. Aren't you from Kent? You kept saying go to Kent. We're in Kent. Hello, Charlie. Less blind spots for sure. Yeah, the blind spots, like I say, I just can't imagine having such a huge blind spot, like the kind that you'd get with a T-cab. How much tons are you hauling? 22 at the minute. We're carrying concrete precast stairs. How do you do the eye tracking, says Glowing Spots? I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack. Which you can download for free. It works off a webcam, so I'm using a spare webcam to do the head tracking. It took me a while to pass my training, just judging the front when swinging it as close to the walls. Yeah, yeah, it must be quite hard to judge, like, the space in a T-cab as well, like, judging how far away you are from something and, you know, how close you are. Again, I do just think it's a lot easier and a lot safer when you've just got a completely flat bonnet straight in front of you. I also have that one, it's with the octopus, right? Yes, the the icon for open track is an octopus. That's the one. Hello Saul, how you doing? Team Tesla 88, welcome to the stream. What country are you driving in the game? Says Chakel. Currently we're in Kent in the UK. We are driving to Algeria though, so we'll be crossing over to France in a minute, and then we'll be heading down across France to Algeria. My stepson says Charlie. Indeed, Charlie. Yes, he was here in a Minecraft stream not too long ago, right? Okay, we need to change lanes right now. Is there a speed limiter on UK trucks in this? There isn't, Bradley. No, you can turn it on and off. I've got it off at the minute. Welcome to the Eurotunnel. Oh, wait, shit, hang on. Please tell me we're not going to Calais. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm scared, everybody. For those of you who don't know, last September, when we were doing the really long delivery from the Faroe Islands to South Africa, we had to come through Calais, and I got stuck at the Eurotunnel entrance for 20 minutes. Like, literally 20 in-game minutes it took me to figure out how to get out of the terminal. So hopefully it won't take that long this time. Hopefully we'll be a bit quicker this time. In fact, I seem to recall that was the first time we used the eye tracker as well. That was the last time we used the eye tracking software. So it's not a good omen that the next time we're using the tracking software, we just so happen to be going through Calais again. I've got a bad feeling about this. Where are you driving to, says Archie. We're driving to Algeria, Archie. Are you online, says Ariel? I'm not Ariel, no, I'm playing a modded game, so I can't use Truckers MP or Convoys. Okay, here we go. We are entering the terminal for the Eurotunnel. VR Euro Truck Sim would low-key be amazing, says Lone Spots. I would love to play it in VR. Definitely, I'd love to play this game in VR. The only thing is, that the only thing I'm concerned about playing the game in VR is that I wouldn't be able to see any of the sim gear. Like, I wouldn't be able to see any of the buttons on the side panel or see the gear shifter and stuff like that. So I imagine that'd make things a little bit trickier. But it would be really cool to see it in VR, definitely. I play it in VR and it's so amazing, says Edmonds. Nice one, Edmonds. I would love to get VR. I wouldn't like to pay full price for a brand new headset though, because I don't think I'd really use it enough to justify that. But if I could find a cheap second-hand VR headset somewhere on eBay for like 50 quid, which I've done some looking around, and you can find second-hand ones for that sort of price. If I could get, yeah, if I could get my hands on a cheap headset for like 50 quid or something, I'd definitely consider giving it a try. And then if it was good, maybe I'd buy a full-priced new one. Facebook Marketplace is my best friend for techie stuff, 100%. Yeah, oh, this beacon light here, I got this on Facebook Marketplace for £5, and it originally came with the collector's edition of FS22, which cost 60 quid on release. So I got that for £5 on Facebook Marketplace. Not too shabby. Can you play on PlayStation? Unfortunately not, Archie. This game is PC only. I didn't even put my handbrake on, and I shut down the engine for some reason. There we go. Oh, look at Ginger. He's so cute. Thanks for the Mamma Mia and the Heart Me, Team Tesla EA. Thank you very much. What time do you normally start your streams, said Edmonds? My streams always start at 3 PM UK time, and they end at about 6 o'clock. Sometimes they're a bit shorter, sometimes they're a bit longer. It really just depends how long it takes to do whatever we're doing in the game on that particular day. But yeah, normally 3 PM till 6 PM is what I aim for. I just noticed the cat, that's so cool. Yes, the cat is from a mod called Farzel's Cab Cats. It is on the Steam Workshop, so you can just go straight to the Steam Workshop and add that to your game right now. And they're so cute. There's a few different ones. You can get a tabby, you can get a ginger, a calico. I've got a tuxedo because my childhood cat Gizmo was a tuxedo cat. But yeah, they're really cool. They have a few animations as well. They'll like clean themselves or roll over and stuff like that. Really, really cute. Really cool mods. Is Farming Sim stream every Friday? Yes, Ben. Farming Sim is every Friday. Okay, we are about to enter the Eurotunnel. That's better than the static cats that sit on the passenger seats. Yeah, honestly, Edmonds, recommend the mod. It is really cool. I think the animations do make it. You know, the fact that the cat actually moves. It's like, it's not just a plastic model. It's an actual cat there. You know. I really shouldn't have joined the train right up at the far end, but never mind. I'll be sure to make it again. Thanks, Ben. Thanks for following Glowing Spots. Wait, with thinking about it, I swear you're the first UK trans streamer I've seen. OMG, one of us. Yeah, I think there's not enough trans streamers in the UK. You know, there's quite a few. I follow quite a few other trans creators on TikTok. But a lot there's, you know, a lot of the trans creators that are most popular on TikTok are from the United States. But I'm proud to be representing the UK and proud to be representing Doncaster here on TikTok. Hey, what wheel do you use, says Tyler Quinn. This is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. It came as a bundle with the side panel here and 2 pedals for £230. Monster drinker, says Dre Dog. Yes, I do drink Monster. I'm trying to cut down. I haven't actually been drinking it very often recently. I used to drink one every day, but now sometimes I'll go like 2 or 3 weeks without one. Sometimes I'll just have a couple a week. But I definitely drink a lot less than I used to because they're very bad for you, and I do try not to drink too much of it. But yeah, I think I definitely wouldn't drink more than 1 a day. My brother-in-law has like 2 or 3 a day, and I'm just like, my guy, you're gonna be dead in 20 years. Slow down. What's your go-to flavour, says Dre Dog? I like the original flavour. I just like the original flavour Monster. My favourite flavour is Ultraviolet, which tastes like Parma Violets, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I do... My go-to is normally just the original flavour. I just like the taste of the original flavour. I heard it's kind of scary near Yorkshire. Holy moly, stay safe. It's not too bad. I'm very lucky, you know, I've got a lot of supportive friends and family around me, so I've never personally had any trouble. I know Yorkshire is maybe not the best place to be trans in this country, but, you know, let's be honest, is there really any good place to be trans in the UK? It's, you know, in this day and age, it's not a great time or place to be transgender. But it's not too bad. Like I say, I've got a very supportive network of family and friends around me, and I've never had any trouble. And if I did have any trouble, I know that people would be there to stick up for me. I'm very lucky. On a keypad, how do you turn on the headlights? I think it's L, Ariel. We support you too. Thank you, Edmonds. At the minute, being trans in the UK is pretty bad. Yeah, it's, like I say, it's not the best. But it could be worse. I mean, I know that's not an excuse, but it could be worse. There are worse places to be right now. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as it could possibly be yet, thankfully. Can we see the truck you're driving, says Tyler Quinn? You can indeed. Here it is. It's the Scania Streamline R730 in the colours of the Trans Pride flag, of course. And the trailer is the Krone Profiliner. Is the Eurotrain a mod, says Ananske official? Nope, you can drive through the Eurotunnel in the vanilla game. I heard the ECHR was getting involved. I've heard as well, Florence, yes. I mean, hasn't pretty much every international organisation spoken out about it at this point? I'm pretty sure the EU's made a statement about it, the UN's made a statement about it, the European Convention of Human Rights has made a statement about it. Pretty much everyone in the world has said, you know, UK, what the fuck are you doing right now? And our government has gone, you know, just shrug their shoulders like, you know, we're just being silly and quirky, you know. We're just trying to get rid of trans people from everyday life, you know, nothing serious. Peak special interest, I like your funny words, thank you. Where are you now? We're in Calais. Trying not to get lost, because we got lost here for 20 minutes last time we came. What political party do you support? At the minute, I don't really know. I voted Green in the last election. I don't think I'll ever vote for Labour again. I think Labour have completely sold out trans people, and pretty much everyone as well. I think, you know, I think pretty much everyone who voted for Labour last year is feeling pretty betrayed right now, and I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I went Green. I don't know who I'm going to vote for next time round. We'll see what happens. Maybe Labour will be in a better state in a few years' time. Maybe this new party that Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana are putting together, maybe that'll be worth voting for. I honestly don't know. A lot is going to change in the next 4 years. And I really don't know what the political landscape's going to look like in 4 years' time. So I honestly don't know who I'm going to support going forward. But yeah, like I say, I voted Green last year, and I don't regret my vote. I think I made the right choice. I'm happy with the decision that I made. Okay, have we done it? Have we successfully left the Euro terminal? I think we've done it. I think we've managed to get out of Calais. We have! Oh, thank God for that. We're free. We've escaped. Notice how reform wasn't even considered evergreen for it. Yeah, reform? Absolutely not. Not in a million years would I vote for reform. I think, not to get too hung up on the political discussions again, but I think if you like the Conservatives but don't think they're extreme enough, then you vote for Reform. If you like the Conservatives but you think they're too extreme, you vote for Labour. Because Labour is Tory light and Reform is Tory heavy. They're all three parties are just different versions of the Tory party, you know. So yeah, you wouldn't catch me voting for Reform if they were literally the only party standing in my area. How's Leeds for driving on here, says Bradley. I don't... Is Leeds even on here? I don't actually know if it is. Let's have a look. It isn't. There is no Leeds, unfortunately. Leeds should be right about here. But it doesn't exist, which is mad, because Leeds is, like, the third largest city in the UK, behind London and Birmingham. It's crazy that Leeds isn't in the game, but Sheffield is. Grimsby's here. What? How is Leeds there? Leeds isn't here, but Grimsby is. SCS software, add Leeds, please. Give us Leeds. I am hoping that the next DLC is going to be a UK rework plus Ireland, because it's becoming a bit of a meme at this point. If you're like quite active in the Euro Truck community, it's become a bit of a meme at this point that the SCS software will just add every single country in the world before Ireland, because Ireland doesn't exist in Euro Truck Simulator unless you have mods. It just the whole Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, the whole island of Ireland is not in Euro Truck Simulator in the vanilla game, which is crazy. And they just keep announcing new DLCs that aren't Ireland. Like they're working on the Nordic Horizons DLC that adds in the northern regions of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Norway, Sweden, and Finland, sorry. But those countries are already in the game. Like, instead of adding more cities to a country that's already in the game, why can't you add this country that isn't in the game at all yet? And then they've just recently announced that the next DLC is going to be Iceland, which is pretty cool, and it will be great to see Iceland in the game. But SCS software, I am begging you, please do Ireland next. It is literally the only country in Europe that you haven't added to the game yet. Please add Ireland. Ireland is too small, it would take 20 minutes to drive, says Florence. I mean, I don't think you can really make that argument when they've added smaller countries than that. Like, they've just done a Greece DLC. Let's have a look at Greece, right? Okay. So this is the Greece DLC that they've just added, and some of these countries were some of these cities up here were added by the road to the Balkans as well. So it's really only this region here that was added by the Greece DLC, which I think, look at this, look at the size of this region here, and then look at Ireland. I think that's a comparable size. I think Ireland is more than big enough to be its own DLC. And even if it's not, combine it with a UK revamp, because they need to revamp the UK as well. Like, the UK is the oldest part of the game that hasn't been updated yet. They've redone France, they've redone Germany, but the game's been out for like 15 years, and they still haven't redone the UK in like 10 years. So really what they should do is redo the UK and add Ireland, and do that as a combined DLC, you know, the UK and Ireland, which is what I really hope they are going to do. Because like I say, the UK desperately needs updating, and Ireland desperately needs adding to the game. So, like I say, fingers crossed, after Iceland, that is going to be the next project. I'm waiting for the bus DLC, says Florence. Me too, Florence. I'm very excited for Project Coaches. That is definitely going to be fun to do. I've done a little bit of bus driving in this game because I've got the bus assets mod and the Carosa 96 bus or something like that. So I've done a little bit of bus driving, but it will be great to have an official bus-related DLC. Lots of people saying DLC, are these not just separate games? No, the Project Coaches is a DLC that's coming soon for Euro Truck. It might seem a bit weird, like, why are they adding coaches to a truck driving game? But you've got to think, like, the reason they're doing it is because it's so much easier to do that than to make a new game. Like, why waste so much time and effort making a coach simulator when you can add coaches to an existing simulator? Like, they've already got basically the whole of Europe in this game. Like, all of the framework of the game is already in place. So it actually makes perfect sense to add coaches into this rather than making a separate, like, coach simulator game. Rumour has it that after Iceland, the next DLC will be Morocco. If that rumour is true, I'm going to be really disappointed, because then, like, that will genuinely be a step too far if we get an African country before we get Ireland. Like, the game's called Euro Truck Simulator, guys. Come on, can we at least get every country in Europe before we go elsewhere? True, I guess the servers would probably be the same too. I don't know, tech stuff. Yeah, again, as well, I think what is going to be really cool is the fact that you'll be able to do convoys and do multiplayer with players who are driving buses. Like, I think it'll just make it feel like a much bigger world when you're playing on a multiplayer server, for example, and some people are driving trucks, some people are driving coaches, you know? Maybe we could even get other types of transport vehicles further down the line, you know? I think they should, just for the giggles. Yeah. Honestly, like, if they did something like that, it would have to be deliberate. They would have to do it deliberately just to wind us up, because there's no way they can't do Ireland next. Trucks and buses have a decent-sized fuel tank, unlike cars, says Draydog. That is a good point, yeah. I think one thing that I've seen a lot of people requesting is rigid body trucks. So instead of articulated trucks with a separate semi-trailer, it'd be good if you could drive rigid body trucks that have got the truck and trailer combined. I think that'd be a really cool thing to add to Euro Truck Simulator, like vans and stuff like that. And again, if they're adding coaches, I think like vans and rigid body trucks would be a logical next step to take. I think that'd be really cool. And you could do like slightly shorter distance deliveries with a van, for example, compared to a semi-truck. Which again gives a bit more variety in the game. You know, you can get a truck for longer jobs, and then you can get a rigid body truck for shorter jobs. And then you can have a coach if you want to do some passenger work instead. It's almost like Train Simulator. Bear with me a minute, but because the thing is, like, in Train Simulator, you can do freight jobs, you can do passenger jobs, and you can do shunting jobs, right? And I think that by adding coaches to Euro Truck, it's almost taking it in that same direction, where if you want to do freight transport, you can do trucks. If you want to do passenger transport, you can do coaches. And if you want to do like more short range, like shunting style jobs, you can have a van, you know. So I think that would really give the game a bit more appeal and give you a bit more choice in the kind of jobs that you can do. Like I say, when I go onto Train Simulator, if I want to drive a passenger train, I can. If I want to drive a freight train, I can. If I want to do shunting, I can. And it would be cool if you had that same sort of choice in Euro Truck. Like, oh, I want to drive a truck today, I want to drive a bus today, I want to drive a van today. Right? That'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool. Do you reckon they'll do electric trucks? It would be cool to see electric trucks, yes. I think Scania does have some concept electric trucks at the minute. I've also seen, there was a Tom Scott video about it a couple of years back, about like trolleybus trucks, like trucks that have overhead cables, and they don't use the overhead cables full time. It's kind of like with a trolleybus, they pick up electricity from the cables as they drive under, and then they store that in the battery to drive on the non-electrified sections. That is something that's being tested in places around Europe right now, and I think that's a really cool concept. It would be really cool if in like 50 years' time, like all our motorways have overhead wires, and all the trucks drive around with overhead wires picking up electricity from the overhead cables. I mean, the infrastructure would cost a fortune, but imagine how much more environmentally friendly that would be than diesel power. And like I say, it is something that is being seriously tested in some European cities right now. They've got like short sections of overhead cables to test this sort of thing on. I think it's a really neat concept. It'd be better if it was integrated into the roads rather than overhead cables. That would be interesting. Yeah, like Bradley Pete says, having charging under the road is a thing as well. Like you could have under the road electric charging pads, and if you have those on motorways, then whenever the truck's on the motorway, it's picking up electricity, and then when it's on like country roads and stuff like that, it's got the electricity stored from when it was on the motorway sections. I think that's, you know, I think stuff like that is really cool. It might not go anywhere, but the concept alone is worth exploring. I think it's good that we're at least considering alternatives to diesel power, because it really is terrible for the environment, you know? Does your head move in the game? It does, Kofi, yes. I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack, so the in-game camera does respond to my head movements. Okay, we're getting tired, by the way. I'm going to go into the map and see if we can mark a rest stop. We might not actually get finished today. We've got half an hour left. We'll see. We'll see. But there's a rest stop in 2 hours. That's quite far, actually, considering we need to sleep immediately. Would it be quicker if we took a slight detour and went to this rest stop? 1 hour and 58? Not really. Oh, this one here, maybe. Yeah, if we go around that way. 2 hours 40? Nope, that's even slower. Oh, there's no road connection there. Weird. Oh, there's one at the toll booth. That's 2 hours and 2 minutes. We'll just have to try and make that. I love a big dirty diesel. Maybe I'll prefer hydrogen soon. Hydrogen's such a cool idea, but because isn't the byproduct just water? Cargo boom is kind of scary though. Yeah, I think the fact that the byproduct of hydrogen fuel is water, in concept, that sounds really cool. Like, you power the vehicle with hydrogen, you get water as a byproduct, you can then use that water, you know, for other things. In theory, it's a good idea, but obviously hydrogen is extremely volatile. we have seen hydrogen-powered vehicles in the past in the form of Zeppelins, and they didn't always work out very well. You know, there was that slight mishap with the Hindenburg. Obviously, things are a lot safer these days, but it's still, you know, there's a bit of a stigma around it. Hydrogen is safe, says Florence. The thing is, though, even if it is safe, there's still like this social stigma around it. It's like nuclear power, you know. Like, nuclear power is incredibly safe. If you look at like the frequency of accidents compared to like coal power, nuclear power is literally one of the safest and cleanest forms of energy. But because of a few, you know, unfortunate incidents, people have this really negative perception of nuclear power. And like I say, nuclear power is really safe. Nuclear power is really good. We should be investing in nuclear power, but we're not investing in nuclear power because everyone's terrified of it for no reason. And I think the same is true with hydrogen power. Like, there's definitely a stigma around it where people don't want to use it because they have this perception of it being unsafe, even if it's not necessarily, you know? What conversation did I just join, says Peugeot? We're talking about alternate power sources, Peugeot. Specifically, we've been talking about hydrogen power and nuclear power. And I was just saying how there's a bit of a stigma around both of them. You know, fun fact, the very first commercial nuclear power plant in the world was opened in the UK in 1954 at Calder Hall. But today, there are only 7 nuclear power plants left in this country, and half of those are being decommissioned as we speak. And I think that's so crazy. I think it's so crazy that we are closing down nuclear power stations. We should be opening more of them. But again, it's because there's this perception that they're unsafe. It's because people think that they're unsafe, even though they're not, right? We are building more, though, says Florence. There are a couple under construction right now, yes. There are a couple of new nuclear power stations on the way. But like I say, the fact that most of the ones that are currently operating are being shut down, even though they're only like halfway through their operational life, it's crazy. I don't know if I'm being daft, but aren't they water-cooled? Couldn't we just build them in the sea or something? Exactly. But again, people don't want to do that because of a little thing that happened in Japan in 2011 called the Fukushima disaster. And suddenly, nobody wants to build nuclear power stations by the sea anymore, because what if there's a giant tsunami? Even though that will probably never happen again, people are still too scared to do it again, just in case. This is the point that I'm making. I am pro-nuclear power. I think we should be investing in nuclear power. What I'm saying is that people don't want to invest in nuclear power because they think that it's unsafe, which it isn't. It's actually one of the safest modes of generating power, you know. Peugeot says, in Poland there's a nuclear power station that's over 60 years old and still running. Cool. That's what we should be seeing in this country. Are you playing with eye tracking? Says DS Discipline. Yes, I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack. I know I'm getting tired. We're nearly there. Kim Jong-un is apparently ready to join the Iran war, says Draydog. That's World War III waiting to happen. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, if North Korea did get involved in the conflict in Iran, that's it. That's the end. We're all dead. All it takes is one single nuke, and the entire planet is wiped out in 10 minutes flat. So, you know, hopefully it won't come to that, but what happens when you get too tired? Do you just lose or something? So it is possible to fall asleep at the wheel and just run yourself off the road, which obviously we don't want to happen. But you do get fined for not sleeping as well. So we've had a couple of no sleeping fines already. Can you just randomly park on the side of the road to sleep, says Draydog. Unfortunately, you can't, Draydog. Oh my god, no. Okay, we need to go to sleep right now. That's what happens when you don't sleep. Okay, we're 30 minutes away from the rest stop. Please don't do that again. Yeah, like I say, unfortunately you can't just sleep anywhere. It would be good if you could. I think there should at least be more laybys. I don't think there are enough laybys in this game. When you get tired and you need to find somewhere to sleep, it's always like, oh, the nearest rest point's 2 hours away. I do think there should be a few more of them. That woke you up, says Edmonds. It certainly did, yes. This gen is cooked, says Jerry Van Boven. I mean, as we've just been discussing, Jerry Van Boven, by this time next year, the entire human race may have been wiped out by nuclear war. So I think I'll spend the precious hours that I have on this planet, you know, doing my own thing. I think life's too short, you know. Even if nuclear war doesn't happen, I'm only going to be here for another 60 years max, so I'm really not going to waste my time giving a shit what Jerry Van Boven 7 has to say about my existence, you know? Again, if we're all gonna die in nuclear hellfire within the next 6 months, I think I'd rather go out with a smile on my face, you know, rather than be miserable for those last few moments. So I'll keep doing my own thing. God will punish you after this. Well, he's not real, and I am. No offense to any Christians out there, but I don't believe God exists, so I really don't care what he's going to do to me after I die. What does it say on your passport, says Jerry Van Boven. It doesn't actually say anything on my passport at the minute, Jerry, because I'm in the middle of a passport application. I have applied for my new passport. Which will say female on it when it arrives. So, what's your argument going to be then? When I have a passport that says female on it, how are you going to move the goalposts then? I'm sure we'll find out. Jerry Van Boven says, if I see you in person, I'll beat the shit out of you. No, you won't, Jerry. No, you fucking won't. I get this comment so often, like, oh, if I see you in real life, it's on site. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You know how I know that you're all talk? Because I've been out for over 4 years, and literally nobody has ever threatened me in person. People say this shit on the internet. They're like, if I saw you in real life, I would say something. Like, no, you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't, because nobody ever has so far. There's always a comment that's like, well, if I saw you in real life, I'd definitely say something. Like, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't, though. You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't have the balls, Jerry. And look, as someone who's been out for 4 years and is a trans woman, and as people on the internet love to point out, as someone who actually has balls, I know that you wouldn't have the balls to say something to me in real life. Okay, game might have frozen. Oh, never mind, there we go. And it's raining again, lovely. How far have we got to go, by the way? 24 hours. Okay, the stream... I kind of do want to finish this job today. I don't know if the stream might end up overrunning. We'll see how we go. We're only 9 hours away from Marseille. We might be over by like 20 minutes, half an hour. We'll see. I don't mind if you go over 6 PM, says Edmonds. Nobody does. Everyone always loves it when I go over on my streams. I don't like to do it, personally, because I don't really enjoy streaming for more than 3 hours. It's around the 3 hour mark when I'm kind of feeling like I've had enough of this now. But everyone always loves when I stream for extra time, so... Okay, I am gonna block Jerry Van Boven at this point. Everybody, sorry for the. Sorry if he was getting on your nerves. I've said it before, but I don't mind getting negative comments. I actually enjoy responding to negative comments. But when it starts to become spammy, you know, when it gets to the point that they're just leaving comments every few seconds, that's when it starts to get annoying, you know. I honestly don't mind responding to negative comments, but when it starts to become spam, that's when I've had enough of it, you know. And I mean, if you've watched my streams for a while, you will know from experience. I don't ignore negative comments. I do quite often read them out, and I do interact with them. I don't just ignore them and pretend they're not there. Because I do think it's important to at least address them, even if it's just to call them out. So I don't ignore negative comments. I don't pretend that I don't get negative comments, because I do. The only thing that I have a problem with is spam, honestly. Do you have eye tracking, says Hayden. I do have a head tracker called OpenTrack, which works off a webcam. Is that a Stream Deck? Says what Desi reads. No, this isn't a Stream Deck. This is the Logitech heavy equipment panel. I got it as a bundle with the steering wheel here. You know you can do that in real life for money, says Lucas. Can you? Hey, wait, this? Like truck driving? You can drive a truck in real life and get paid for it? No, I don't buy it. I think you just made that up. There's no way this is a real thing that people do in real life. Surely not. That's cool. What sort of controls does the deck have? Says what Desi reads. So most of the controls here are for the truck. We've got some controls that like open and close the windows, for example. We've got headlights. We've got windscreen wipers. We got controls to lift the trailer axle and lift the trailer hitch. Sorry, disconnect the trailer, put the legs down on the trailer, drop the spare axle, all that kind of stuff. We got cruise control. We've got all sorts of bits and pieces. We got an indicator stick, which is pretty cool. So quite a lot of functionality in the control panel there. No, it's just a game concept, says Danielle. Thank you, Danielle. That's what I was thinking. There's no way this is a real thing. There's no way they made trucks from Euro Truck Simulator into a real thing. I don't buy it. But then again, as people on my stream like to point out, I haven't left my house since 1957. I literally never go outside ever, so I wouldn't know what goes on out there, really. How much was the setup, says Ally? The setup was about £2,000, Ally. 1,000 for the computer, and 1,000 for everything else. Is this like VR, says Stephen? It's a head tracker, Stephen, so I've got a webcam above my computer, above my monitor, sorry. I've got a webcam facing directly at me, and I'm using a software called OpenTrack, which tracks the position of your head using the webcam. Jamie says, no shit, of course you don't go out, look at you. Jamie, honestly, I don't know if you're joking or not, but there are genuinely people who watch my live streams who actually believe that I don't go outside, ever. Even though I just uploaded a half-hour documentary that I took when I went to the Peak District last week, there are still people who genuinely think that I never leave the house. I do leave the house, and if you want video evidence of me leaving the house, go and check out the half-an-hour documentary that I made on the Peak District last week. I don't have the Euro train like you have, says Ananske Official. You should have if you go to Dover or Calais. There should be the Euro tunnel there. Or actually, it might just be the ferry in the base game. It's been a long time since I played vanilla, but I'm sure the Euro tunnel is in the base game as well. So you left the house for half an hour last week. Very normal, says Ruben. Yes, Ruben. What I did was I woke up, I instantly teleported myself to the Peak District, and then half an hour later, I teleported back again. No. What actually happened is I got up at 6 o'clock, I left the house for 12 hours, and in that time, I took a 15-mile walk in the Peak District. I didn't just leave the house for half an hour and then come back. Do you play Truckers MP or nah? Says Ally. I do play Truckers MP. I haven't played it for a while, but I do play it. Nearly 6 o'clock, need to charge my phone. No worries if you have to go, Charlie. I think I'm going to continue until we finish this job. So this stream might run over a little bit tonight, but if you do need to go, then that's absolutely fine. How far is the Peak District, says Draydog? For me, it takes about an hour to get there. It's about 20 minutes on the train from Doncaster to Sheffield, and then another half an hour, 45 minutes on the bus from Sheffield out into the Peak District. So about an hour. How long you got left, says Charlie? The job is 22 hours, but most of that is going to be on the ferry. Let's just check the map real quick. Okay, it's going to take 7 hours to get to the ferry, and after that it's pretty much instant. So 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. But I would like to see this job through to the end. Oh shit, we're running out of fuel. For God's sake, there's always something, isn't there? Where's the next fuel station? 67 miles, that's not too far. We might make it. I'm shooting off for dinner, getting hungry. You're next on Friday. Yes, I'm next on Friday, Edmund. What days do you stream, says Ally? Currently I stream Minecraft on a Monday, Euro Truck on Tuesday, and Farming Sim on Friday. So the next live stream will be Friday. So as it's the last 20 minutes of the stream, I am going to request one more time, if you haven't already followed, please do. Share the stream, you know, tag your friends, get people over here. We are less than 70 followers, I believe, from 7k. So please, 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 do help me get to 7k. I don't think we're going to get there today, but we are so close. So please do follow, please do share the stream. Let's make it happen, and hopefully on Friday we will hit 7k. I think there's a petrol station closer. No, that's the nearest one. That's the nearest one, 40 miles away. The Euro Truck is not vanilla. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Anansuke. So it's just the ferry in the vanilla game then, unfortunately. How much is the steering wheel, says Archie? £230 for the steering wheel and the side panel as a bundle. You can buy the side panel on its own for 150 quid, but you can't buy the steering wheel on its own, unless you get it second hand. Pretty cool you have different days for different games, says Ally. Yes, I like to keep a schedule. Like I say, I think it's better for the viewers if I stream the same stuff on the same day every week. Like if you want to watch me play Farming Sim, for example, you know that it's always going to be on a Friday. If you want to see me play Minecraft, you know that it's always going to be on a Monday. I just think it's a lot better to have a schedule rather than just play random games on random days. Hello, I'm back again after yesterday. How's it all going? It's going well, Ellis. We're currently transporting 22 tons of precast concrete stairs to Algeria. Fawzi Hamers, I used to watch you play this, now I do it for a living. Wow, congratulations, Fawzi. Well done. What games would you do on Wednesday and Thursday, says Ally. So, I haven't done any Wednesday or Thursday streams for a while, but I do have a series called Factorio Thursday, which I would like to bring back. We haven't played Factorio for ages, and I'd love to get back into it. Especially because we've been doing the Create mod on Minecraft, it's really got me in the Factorio mood again. So, you know, watch this space. Factorio Thursday might come back very soon. Wednesday, I don't really have anything. We did do OMSI Wednesday for a little bit, the bus simulator, but it didn't really get very far. And there is also Train Sim Saturday and Sci-Fi Sunday. I haven't done Train Sim Saturday for a while either. And Sci-Fi Sunday, we just got finished playing Muncher's Odyssey. So I'm taking a bit of a break from Sci-Fi Sunday at the moment. But we will be bringing Sci-Fi Sunday back in August, when I'm going to be playing Abe's Odyssey. So I do have a game for every day of the week, but I don't play every single game every single week, you know what I mean? I normally do 3 streams a week, and then every couple of months I'll switch up the schedule. So like in August, for example, I'll probably stop playing Euro Truck for a month or so and play a science fiction game instead, and then I'll bring Euro Truck back the following month. Because it means that I get to play like a wide variety of games, but I'm not playing almost every single day, you know? Thanks On Top for the rose and Doc the Lancer for the heart me, by the way. Eyes on the road, it's all eyes on the road. Okay, here we go. Are you playing on PC? I am, yes. This game is PC only. Are you on multiplayer? I'm not. I'm on single player because I'm playing with quite a lot of mods, and Truckers MP doesn't support mods. Good to see you again, says Daniel Stocksbridge. What country are you in? We are in France at the minute, heading to Algeria. Hey Queen, how are you today? I'm very good, Amy, thank you. How are you? Hold on, let me put this window down. The traffic in Calais on Truckers MP is a nightmare. Oh yeah. Calais and Duisburg, the worst places you can go in Truckers MP. But we have had a lot of fun there in previous live streams. How far have we got to go? Because it is now 6 o'clock exactly. We haven't even reached Lyon yet. I really do want to finish this job in today's stream, but I honestly don't know how much longer it's going to take. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. If we don't get to Marseille in like the next 15 minutes, then we'll just have to call it a day. But hopefully we will. Hopefully we will get to the end of this job today. Would you play Elden Ring, says Alistair? It's not really my cup of tea, Alistair, to be honest. I'm not that big on fantasy games. I prefer science fiction. Like, I'm definitely much more of a Fallout person than a Skyrim person, for example. There are a few fantasy games that I enjoy, but I think generally speaking, you know, sci-fi has always been my go-to. Edmund says, I'm back, I put dinner on so I can watch till the end. Nice one, Edmund. Don't you find this game boring as it's just driving, says Archie Dunn? I don't find it boring, no. Again, it's not for everyone. I can see why people would find it boring, but for me, I really enjoy it. Are you an atheist, says Bulk? I am, Bulk, yes, I would consider myself an atheist. Steering wheel, says Niall. Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. Edmund says driving and chatting is not boring, but some people might find that boring. Yeah, again, I can see how you might find the game boring, but for me personally, I really enjoy it. And also, that's the whole reason for the chatting portion of the stream as well. Like, the game, as much as I enjoy playing the game is only half of the reason why I do live streams. I also do the live streams so that I can chat, you know? The game really is just there to be in the background so that I can have a conversation with you guys, right? That's what the stream's really about, you know? Okay, I think we actually can't get through this gate. But yeah, I imagine if I was just sat here in silence for 3 hours, I can see how that would be very boring to watch. But like I say, the game itself is only half of the stream. The chat is also a very important part of the live stream. And I don't understand streamers who just sit there in silence and play the game and just completely ignore the chat. For me, the chat is the whole point of the live stream. Like, if I wasn't doing it for the chat, I could just make it a video instead, right? I do it for the chat. Okay, I'm going to have to try and cut in here. I know they're not going to let me because they're arseholes, but I'm going to try and cut in anyway. You there? You just volunteered to let me cut in. Thank you very much. There we go, £122 at a toll booth. That's insane. What happens if you crash, says Archie? The truck gets damaged. Not physically, there's no visible damage to the truck, but you do lose performance, and the truck gets slower the more damaged it gets, and you have to pay to get it repaired. Okay, we're going to have to put the left window down again so that I can see to change lanes. There we go. And it costs a fortune to repair too. Yeah, the repair costs are quite high. But then again, I've got 11.6 mil, so it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Edmund says, I had to fully restore one of my trucks, as in replace everything. Oh, I've had to do that before as well. I did a 97% damage crash. Like, completely went over the central reservation and, like, down the side of a bridge. 97% damage on the truck. Had to basically pay to completely restore the whole thing. Shit happens, you know? What's the mod for the Eurotunnel called, says Ananske? It'll probably be Pro Mods. I would say Pro Mods is probably the mod that adds in the Eurotunnel, because that's the only mod that I have that changes that part of the map. just passing Lyon. God, it is a lot further than I thought it would be. You forget how big France is, right? France is a big country compared to the UK. And I really genuinely do want to finish this job before the end of the stream. But we're already 10 minutes over and we've still got so far to drive. We may have to cut the journey short. I'm very sorry, but it might have to happen. I'm trying not to. I am going to try and finish it, but... what time's your stream, says Penguin Star? Usually 3 PM till 6 PM. We are running over today because we're in the middle of a job, but normally 3 PM till 6 PM. And my current days are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Thanks, Mrs. K, for the heart buff. Thanks for following, Archie Dunn. Keep those follows coming, by the way. I can't actually see the live... I can't see the follow account because I've got the preview closed. So if someone could tell me how many followers we're at right now. I'm guessing 6920 or 6930-ish. Which is Farm Sim? Farm Sim's on Friday, Edmonds. 6929. Thank you, Mrs. K. 6929. 71 followers to go. That's how close we are. 71 followers until we hit 7k. 7,000. I'm very excited. We're not going to hit it today. It's definitely too late in the stream for that to happen now. But, like I say, my farming sim streams are normally quite popular. I think we could easily get 70 on Friday. So I really do think this is going to be the week. I think this week will be the week that we get to 7k. And please do help me get there. Please do follow if you haven't already. Thank you, Mrs. K, for following just now. If you haven't already, please follow and, you know, share the stream. Share my videos, tag your friends, whatever else. I have quite a wide variety of videos as well, so whatever you're interested in, there may well be something for you. I do piano videos, I do Lego review videos, I do some documentary style videos on the Peak District, I do my queer discussion videos where I discuss various topics that affect me and the wider queer community. I do all sorts of videos, so if you're interested in that sort of stuff, check out my profile. You might just find something that interests you. And like I say, share it with your friends as well. Get more people involved. And fingers crossed, God willing, we'll be at 7k by the end of the week. Okay, this we're on a smaller road now. I think it's because we're avoiding whatever this is. I don't know why we couldn't just go straight on there, but never mind. I will say as well, I think this Friday's Farm Sim stream will probably run over as well, because I'm not ending that stream until we get to 7k. I'm serious, if we're so close, I'm not going to end the stream on Friday until we get to 7k. So if Friday's stream ends up being 5 hours long, that's why. When we're this close, I can't give up, you know. Thanks for following me, Supreme Being. Do you have a partner, says Daniel Foley? I don't, Daniel, no. I'm not looking at the minute, though. I'm happy enough on my own right now. 70 left till you reach your goal, says Draydog. Indeed, Draydog. And then, of course, as soon as we hit 7k, we're going to set our sights on 8k. Every day we get closer and closer to the big 5 figures, 10,000. Oh. One day. Honestly, I'm really hoping that we can get to 10k by the end of the year. Because there is just over 3k to go. We are so close. 10k would just be absolutely incredible. Because once I get to 10k, I can join the Creator Rewards program as well, which means you actually get paid a little bit of money per view on your videos. And also TikTok pushes your videos more once you get to 10k. So it would be really great if we could get to 10k by the end of the year. But let's get to 7k first. Let's not bite off more than we can chew. Baby steps. 7k, then 8k, then 9k, then 10k. But we will get there eventually. Thanks for following Harley B as well, by the way. I'm still here, just finished dinner. Nice one, Charlie. We're getting closer and closer to Marseille right now. And the party ain't over till we get to Marseille. I have 114 followers, says Edmonds. Keep at it, Edmonds. Keep at it. It can be, if you are looking to build your follower count, it can be, you can sort of get into the habit of, like, constantly watching the follower count, which, it's not a great mindset to get into where you're, like, constantly checking every day, like, how many followers have I got, how many followers have I got, but it is easy to fall into that trap and to be constantly watching the clock, as it were. But eventually, I've reached a point now where it's like, I'm probably going to reach 10k. It might happen in the next couple of months. It might not happen for another year. But based on how much I've grown, like, over the year that I've been doing this, I'm just happy to go at my own pace, and it'll happen when it happens. Like I say, I'm very confident that I will get to 10k. I just don't know how quickly it's going to happen. How did you gain followers, says Archie? Just consistency, Archie. Consistency is key if you want to build followers. Like I say, I think having a strict schedule, like streaming the same games on each day, goes a long way to viewer retention. Because again, if you're streaming a different game every single day and you don't announce your streams or anything like that, people are much less likely to come back. Whereas if you do a stream like every Friday, if you say I'm going to stream Farming Simulator every Friday, people will come back for that because they know that you're going to be streaming on that day at that time. So having a schedule and sticking to it and keeping up the consistency of your uploads definitely goes a long way to building followers. And also, it does help to, like, offer a bit for everyone as well. Obviously, you can't offer something for every single person because people have such wildly different interests. But I do find it's better to have a few different avenues rather than one specific thing. Like, I don't think, if I just played Minecraft in every single live stream, I don't think I'd have anywhere near the number of followers that I do now. I think the fact that I play Minecraft and Euro Truck and Farming Simulator and Factorio, the fact that I have a few different games definitely helps as well. Because you're offering a variety for various different viewers, Thanks for following, by the way, Caden and Richard Huggins. 'Cause, 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 'c But yeah, the best piece of advice I can give, though, like the absolute best piece of advice I can give, is to just put yourself out there. You know, because I think my TikTok is a very good reflection of me as a person. You know, the sort of content that I post is very reflective of my personal hobbies and interests. You know, post things that you're interested in. You know, it sounds obvious, but there are quite a lot of content creators out there who aren't even interested in the kind of content that they produce. They just do it for the views, and I can't imagine doing that. You know, do the sort of content that you enjoy doing, and you will find people who also enjoy that content. Like I say, I think my TikTok is a good reflection of me as a person. You see the sort of games that I'm interested in. There's the Lego stuff, there's the piano stuff, there's the trans discussion stuff. There's a little bit of, you know, it's all like a cross-section of me as a person. And I think that's the best advice that I can give, is to just put yourself out there and try and be as authentic as you can. What wheel you got? Says nah, this is the Logitech G heavy equipment wheel. What shifter is that? This is the Thrustmaster TH8S. I want to set up like this, says Gag. Do it, Gag, do it. Start small, get it piece by piece. You know, my setup started with a gaming laptop. I had a Lenovo IdeaPad laptop, and then I got a good keyboard and mouse, I got a good headset and a controller, then I replaced the laptop with a PC, then I got my first steering wheel, then I got a better webcam and a better microphone, then I got the gear shifter and the handbrake. You know, do it bit by bit. I think a mistake that a lot of people make is they try to do it all in one go. They're like, right, I want to get a simulation set up, so I'm going to go out and buy a steering wheel, a gear shifter, a handbrake, a beacon light, a webcam, headphones. You know, I'm going to buy the whole thing in one go, which is really impractical and really expensive. You know, the best thing to do is start small, buy things piece by piece, and just slowly upgrade your setup over time. I mean, it's taken me like 3 or 4 years to get all of this stuff. You know, I didn't just go out and buy it all in one go. What are your pronouns? She, her. Thanks for asking, Isaac. Just getting the rain off the window. There we go. Hi, BMN. How you doing? How far are we? Come on. Please. Okay, we're pretty close. We are pretty close. We might be done by 6:30. We'll see. What country are you driving in? Says nah. We're currently in France, en route to Marseille, where we're going to be taking a ferry to Algeria. Good, you? I'm good, thanks, BMN. Going anywhere nice this summer? No, I've not got any plans to do a proper holiday this year. There's not really anywhere that I particularly want to go, to be honest, at this moment in time. And in any case, I've been happy enough doing my my Peak District stuff, because I think rather than taking one big holiday a year, it's nice to have a day off, like once a month, and go and, you know, go to the Peak District, go and have a walking trip, you know, go on a nice hike. That's really more my kind of thing. I'm not really a holiday person, you know. I've never been abroad, just to clarify. I've never been on a holiday abroad. But when I was a kid, we did go on a lot of caravan holidays, you know, to the seaside, and we normally went for a week, and it just gets boring after a week, you know, just staying in one place for a week. What you pretty much do everything on the first day, and then you've got the rest of the week just sitting around doing nothing. I'd much prefer to have a day trip than a week's holiday, you know. Oh, shit. Nearly knocked the Patreon board over there. But yeah, like I say, I'd much rather take a series of day trips spread out across the year rather than take one big holiday, because I'd just get bored. Hello, STFC, how are you doing? Are those real, says ICO3? Nope. Peru is good to drive, says BMN. Interesting. I don't drive, but I'll take your word for it. We're getting tired again, by the way, but I think if we can make it to the ferry, we can sleep on the ferry, you know? Had a good day, says STFC. I have STFC, yeah, great day. Oh shit. Okay, don't scratch your nose in the middle of the stream saw because the head tracker goes crazy. Can you drive in towns as well as motorways? Yes, Archie, you can drive on. You can drive in towns and cities. That's obviously where all the deliveries are to and from. And there's plenty of countryside as well. There's plenty of rural roads and mountain roads and stuff like that in various parts of the map. Did you start later? Is that why you're streaming after 6? No, STFC. We actually started on time today. The reason we're running late is because I wanted to finish this job, which we're very close to doing, but that's why we've run later than usual. I always thought the goal was for likes, says Draydog. No, the goal is for followers. We've actually got 5,000 likes on today's stream. So thank you everyone for liking the stream. But yeah, the number on the bar at the top is our follower count. Okay, get off the central line, Saul. And we are less than 70 away now, less than 70 followers to go to hit 7k. Let's make it happen, folks. Please, 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 let's make it happen. What's the highest likes you've had on a single stream, Draydog? I honestly don't know, because I don't really check the live. I don't really check the likes on the stream. I can tell you the most followers we've had. I once had 350 followers in a single stream. To put that into perspective, today we've had 36 new followers. So I did once have a stream where we got 10 times the followers that we've got today in a single 3-hour stream. That was insane. We're never getting to that level of popularity again. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But yeah, I did once do a Euro Truck stream where we got 350 followers in one stream. You cooking tonight then, says Charlie? I think I will be, Charlie, yes. I think it'll be bolognese for tea. I mean, I'm not doing any shopping until Thursday, and we have the ingredients for bolognese, and we have a big pie. That's all the food we have left till Thursday. I mean, we got bits and pieces as well, you know, a couple of chicken nuggets and fries stashed away. But in terms of actual meal stuff, we got bolognese and a big pie. Just for you or family too, says Charlie. It'll be for me and my brother. I love my brother to pieces, but with the best will in the world, That boy does not cook. That boy does not know how to cook. That boy microwaves frozen pizzas. I'm not even joking. I've seen him microwave frozen pizzas before. He would starve to death if he didn't live with me. But I love cooking, so... Okay, that was close. We nearly ran the red light there. We just about made it. Thanks for following, Toby. Okay, is that going to change, or... what's the best meal you've had, says Draydog? Ooh, big question. I love katsu curry. Big fan of katsu curry. I like Japanese food in general. I've always been a big fan of, you know, sushi and teriyaki. Right. I know this looks bad that I struggled for 10 seconds to think of a Japanese food apart from sushi, but I do genuinely like Japanese food. But katsu curry in particular, I really love katsu curry. And there's a Japanese restaurant in Bath. I went to university in Bath. There's a Japanese restaurant in Bath. I don't know if it's still there, but if you live in Bath or if you've ever been to Bath, it's just opposite Wagamama's. There's a little alleyway just across the road from Wagamama's, and if you go up there, there's a sushi restaurant on the right-hand side. And they do an amazing katsu curry. Absolutely amazing katsu curry. I mean, we used to... Obviously, when I when I lived in Bath, me and my friends, we used to go out for meals quite a lot, and a lot of us are interested in Asian food as well, so there's a few Japanese restaurants, there's a few sushi bars and stuff like that in that area, in Bath and Bristol, so we did sort of tour around and try out a few different places. But yeah, the one just up the alleyway from Wagamama's was the best, in my opinion. It's Bath. It's not Bath, it's Bath, says Xander. Well, I'm not one of them southern types. I'm a northern lass, and we pronounce it Bath. And also, I lived there for 3 years, and nobody ever said to me, it's not Bath, it's Bath. Like, it's I just pronounce it differently because I'm from Yorkshire. It's tomato, tomato, like Edmund says. Have you ever played Satisfactory? It's like Factorio, I think. I haven't, STFC, but it's a game that I've always wanted to check out. It's one that's been on my radar for a while. But yeah, I've never played Satisfactory. It is, from what I've seen, it's basically like Factorio, but 3D. So it would be pretty cool. Maybe we could check it out on stream one day. Okay. It's currently 12:30, and we still haven't finished. We got a little bit of driving to do once we get to Algeria. I'm thinking another 10-15 minutes, so we've gone massively over today, but we've come this far. Let's see it through to the end. Let's get this job done. Lovely. It always takes a minute. There we go. It always takes a minute to take the ferry. Do you have head tracking? Says OWRW. Yes, I'm using head tracking software called OpenTrack. It works off a webcam, so you don't need any hardware for it, apart from a webcam. But it's worked very well today. It's worked a lot better than I expected it to. I can even look behind me if I turn my head at an awkward angle. Satisfactory would have to be done on Saturday because it begins with an S, said Edmonds. See, that's the problem. The problem with doing a series, the problem with having alliterations for all of the different streams that I do, is that there are only 7 days in the week, so eventually you have to start doubling up. So if I did Satisfactory, it would have to be on a Saturday or a Sunday. It's the same problem with Subnautica. I really want to play Subnautica on stream, because I fucking love Subnautica. It's one of my favourite games. I would really love to play Subnautica on stream, but it means it's going to have to double up with either Saturday or Sunday. So we'll have to see what happens. And also, the other reason that I haven't played Subnautica yet, by the way, is because Subnautica 2 is on the way. So what I was thinking is, I want to wait until the official release date for Subnautica 2 is announced, and then I want to play Subnautica, like, in the run-up to Subnautica 2. And then we can play Subnautica 2 as well. So it might not be for a couple of years yet, until we actually play Subnautica on stream. But we'll see. Do you make good money, says Louis? From this? No. I don't make very money from streaming at all. I do appreciate the donations, though, and I do appreciate my wonderful Patreon members, but this doesn't put food on the table. Maybe one day, but not today. Okay, 2 hours 41 minutes to go. I'm really gonna have to floor it because we're over half an hour late today. That we might have to do a bit of unsafe driving because I really want to get to the end, but I don't want it to take too much longer. So let's put our foot down. Let's get this job done, and then we can finish the stream. My voice is starting to hurt as well. I don't know how much it comes across on camera, but my voice always sounds way more coarse at the end of the stream than it does at the start. Like I say, I don't know if that comes across on camera, but I always feel by the end of the stream that my voice has just been completely destroyed from talking for 3 hours straight. And it's definitely getting to that point now where I can feel my voice starting to get a bit hoarse. How's your camera moving with no mouse? I'm using a head tracker called OpenTrack, which lets me look around the cab with just my head. Just turn my head to look around. Pretty cool. I'm surprised you're still going, to be honest, said Edmonds. Believe it or not, Edmonds, this isn't my longest stream. I did do a 5-hour live stream at the end of last year. I did a special Christmas stream. We did 5 hours, and I played a different game each hour. So we did 1 hour of Euro Truck, 1 hour of Minecraft, 1 hour of Alien Isolation, 1 hour of Rolling Line, and I can't remember what the last hour was. It might have been an hour of Farming Sim as well. But that was a great stream. I might do something like that this year as well because it was really fun. Just like an end of year. It wasn't New Year's Eve. It was like a couple of days before, but it was like an end of year celebration kind of thing. And it would be cool to do that this year as well. To just like pick the 5 games that I've enjoyed the most this year and play each one for an hour, and do that sort of special end of year celebration. When do you do Farm Sim? Every Friday, Hayden. Subnautica's in VR, by the way, says Edmonds. Oh, I don't know if I'd enjoy Subnautica in VR. In VR, honestly, I think Subnautica in VR might scare the shit out of me, to be honest. But I'd have to try it. It would be really cool to play some proper horror games in VR, though. Can you imagine playing Alien Isolation in VR? Holy shit! I would be terrified. I would be genuinely so terrified, but it would be so much fun. If I ever do get a VR headset, you better believe I'm just going to try and play every single game I can with it, for better or worse. Why'd your cam keep moving around, says H? I've got a head tracker, H, so whenever the camera moves, it's because I'm looking around in the cam, which is pretty cool, and it's free. Watch pronoun, she, her, thanks for asking, Jacoby. Okay, I'm going to change lanes. I'm going to head over to the center lane. Do you ever play Euro Truck, says Hayden? No, Hayden, I don't think I've heard of that. I'm joking, of course, I'm playing Euro Truck. Right now, do I play on Truckers MP? I have played on Truckers MP. Not for a while, but I have played Truckers MP before. I do enjoy Truckers MP. What's I don't know what happened there, but for some reason we just slowed down to a crawl, and now I'm struggling to pick speed back up again. I'd have a headache after 3 hours of streaming, I think, says Edmonds. It does start to get to that point, yes, Edmonds. I think that 3 hours is the perfect length of time for a live stream. I think 2 hours just isn't enough to really get into the game, but 4 hours is too much, and the game starts to drag, you start getting tired, you start getting a headache. I think 3 hours is the perfect length for a gaming live stream. So that's why I always try and aim for about 3 hours. Obviously we've gone over by about 40 minutes today and we're still not finished, but 3 hours is usually what I aim for. Charlie has pinned the schedule, by the way. Thank you, Charlie. So if you can see the pinned comment there, you can see that I play Minecraft on Monday, Euro Truck on Tuesday, and Farming Simulator on Fridays. So if you're interested in any of those, games, sorry, I tripped over my tongue there. If you're interested in any of those games, you know when to come along to see them. You still live, says an Anske official. I am an Anske official. You can see I'm really flooring it right now, though, because I really, really want to get done as soon as possible. Oh god, no, no, no. Okay, that's the price you pay. An accident could happen at any moment, and it could be a bad one. How long is it, says SM? An hour. There's an hour left, so that's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We will be ending the stream very soon, I promise. We're nearly there. What FOV do you use, says Edmonds? Just the default FOV, which I think is like 65, 70-ish. Which I think is the most accurate, honestly. Your brother is hungry, says Charlie. He's wasting away. How come you don't stream for long, says SM? I mean, I've been streaming for 3 hours and 40 minutes, SM. Yeah, it's 65. I always go up to around 80, but I play on a TV-sized screen. says Edmonds. I actually play on a 32-inch smart TV, Edmonds. My main monitor is a smart TV. So it is quite a big monitor as well. But yeah, I just find that the default FOV works fine for me. Winter streams were the best, says Hayden. Oh yeah, so you're already making me nostalgic for something that was like 6 months ago, Hayden. But I really did. I think that was the most fun time in the streaming back in sort of October, November time. Some good memories from back then. That was when we were at just over 5k. I want that steering wheel, too expensive, says SM. This is actually a really cheap steering wheel, SM. The bundle, the steering wheel and side panels, 230 quid, which is about as cheap as you can get for a simulation wheel. Especially the Halloween stream. Yes, Hayden, we're going to have to do a Halloween stream again as well. Maybe we'll play Slenderman's Shadow again, or I could pick another nostalgic horror game from my childhood to try out. Edmund says, I wasn't a follower back in winter, I missed out. Oh, you did miss out on some great streams, Edmonds, definitely. But yeah, for Halloween, I played Slenderman's Shadow. When I was a kid, I played the Slender games, and they scared the shit out of me. And it was really fun revisiting them for Halloween. They're nowhere near as scary as an adult. It's literally just jump scares, 90% of it. But it was really fun to revisit. And I'd love to do something similar this year, revisit a classic game from my childhood. And Alien Isolation as well. You missed out on Alien Isolation, Edmonds. Alien Isolation was so fun. You can watch the whole series over on YouTube. It's 6 episodes. Oh, it might have been 7. No, I think it's 6 episodes. But that was so much fun playing that on stream. Okay, we're here. It's 6:45. But we're here. Oh. Nearly missed the turn. Oh, there we go. I'm a follower now, so I won't miss out on the next one. Exactly. At least you're here now. At least you're here now, Edmonds. Oh, excuse me. That's the monster. Wow, a bloke in a dress, says Fishing Mad. I mean, stay mad, Fishing Mad. You call me a bloke in a dress as much as you like, it doesn't make it true. Have you ever played American Truck Simulator, says Hayden. I haven't, Hayden. I'm not really interested in American trucks or American-style trucking. I've said earlier in the stream, I don't really like the big rigs and the the T-cabs. I much prefer European-style trucking with the smaller cab-over trucks and the tighter roads and stuff like that. This is much more my scene, so I'm just not really interested in American Truck Simulator. Okay, there we go. Job done. We got 91 grand. No damage to the cargo, which is great. And with that, almost 50 minutes late, we can end the stream. I'm just going to quit right here, because we don't have time. We really don't have time. Don't go away, though. As usual, I am still going to do my little end-of-stream wrap-up. But thank you for joining me for the trucking portion of the stream. Sorry it ran over so much. I really, really wanted to make sure we got that job finished today. And we did. So, hey, you know. I see the fly, says Charlie. Yeah, it's still here. It's doing my head in, honestly. Okay, let's cue the music. Okay, so, thank you for joining, everybody. It's been a very fun stream. Like I say, ran over quite considerably, but it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed playing with the head tracker for the first time in a while. I think we will do this more often. Everyone seems to enjoy the head tracker. It makes the game just that bit more realistic, and I really enjoy playing with it. So hopefully, future streams we will use the head tracker as well. I might use it for Farming Sim, but last time we used it for Farming Sim, it didn't work. It caused problems. Admittedly, that was Farming Sim 22. We haven't tried it in Farming Sim 25, so I'm not going to rule it out, but I don't know for sure if we will be able to play Farming Sim with the head tracker. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, the next stream will be Farming Sim on Friday. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've had a wonderful time. We have managed to reach 6,938 followers. 62 to go. 62 followers. And we'll be at 7k. That is incredible. I can't believe we're this close. I think we'll hit on Friday. We got 60 followers last Farm Sim Friday. If we get 60 followers again this Farm Sim Friday, we've done it. So, again, fingers crossed. Friday is going to be the day where we hit 7,000. I really need to go. My voice is getting worse. Hopefully, Friday will be the day that we hit 7k. I need to stop speaking, like, right now. My voice is... Okay. Right. With that being said, this is the end of the stream. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have enjoyed, but you haven't already followed, please do. Please, please, please help me get to 7,000. We are so unbelievably close, and I really want to hit it by this week. So follow if you haven't already. Share the stream with your friends. Share my videos. Tag your friends in my videos, you know, if you think they'll be interested. Get those views in. Get those followers in. Please, please, please. I don't normally like to beg like this, but we are so close. Please help me get to 7k. Okay, if you would like to support me at some of these other places down below, all the links are in my bio. Go and subscribe over on YouTube if you want. All of my live streams are up on YouTube as well, so if you want to watch the stream in landscape mode, go and watch them over on YouTube. And all of my videos that I post on TikTok, I also post on YouTube as well, so please do go and subscribe over there if you're interested. Follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky if you want to keep up to date with what's going on over there. I very rarely post over there, but you can check them out anyway if you want. Join the Discord if you want to keep up to date with when I post and stream, and if you want to talk to me directly when I'm not streaming. And last but not least, if you would like to support me financially, please do consider checking out my Patreon. Thank you so much to Kate, Sophie, Jess, and Danny for supporting me over on Patreon. It only costs £1 a month. You get a shout out on stream, you get your name on this board, and you get access to behind-the-scenes content like uncut footage, early access, bloopers, making of videos, that sort of stuff. So for £1 a month, you can't go far wrong. So do check that out if you're interested. If not, that's absolutely fine. I'm just glad you've joined me today. I'm going to end the stream now because we have been live for almost 4 hours, and I really need to take a break. So thank you very much. One last thing I'd like to say before we go. To all of the trolls out there, thank you for joining. Please fuck off. I'm ending the stream right now. And thank you over on YouTube, by the way, as well. I almost forgot I'm still live on YouTube. Thank you for joining over there. I'll see you on Friday for Farming Sim. Again, please do go and follow me over on TikTok if you're interested, just to help me get to 7k. It would be very much appreciated. But thank you very much. I'll see you on Friday for Farming.